What's up, folks? Welcome back to the stream. We're live with the final weekend of T5S2 Season 6 proper before we get to the Invitational. If you didn't see it, just had the trailer go up for the Invitational today. And, oh, I don't know if I posted an announcement chat. Oh, no.
So it's better bring it down that caps at 12. Interesting.
There we go. Now everyone in the Discord knows. Boom. All right. Stream is live. Let's do this thing. So, final weekend of Pod 6 before the Invitational. We have a bunch of events finishing off this weekend. Starting with this one, this is the Pod 31 finals between, over here in the red, playing the OG. I was gonna say new and improved, but in fact they're not new, or they're new but not improved. They're new and mostly the same as they were. Leagues of Votann versus, on the other side of the table, SlimHogan over here playing the about to be absolutely manhandled by the Nerf bat Tyranids. We actually have a lot of Tyranids this weekend. In fact, Tyranids are in every finals match, which is, you know, pretty good. A good last hurrah for Tyranids before the illimitable hammer of nerfs descend upon them in the Arcs of Omen season. Probably not undeserved nerfs, to be fair, but a lot of nerfs. So we're going to see a lot of Tyranids between now and tomorrow. Sunday, we do have a game at 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, so both morning and evening. So you can come hang out for those. And that's good stuff. So the players just going through their secondaries right now. It looks like I'm gonna put the secondaries in the thing.
How do I actually change the timer? I've never actually.
You can press 9 on your numpad if you have a numpad, like the telephone dial. You can also literally click the timer that's running in your upper right corner of your screen.
Oh, sweet. That makes it.
And if it's not 9, then it's 7. I can't remember. One of us is 9, the other one's 7.
Yeah, Raze, could you just put your secondaries in real quick?
I can't.
Yeah, you should be able to. If you flip over to Nephilim factions.
I don't know if they're in here, because the last one entered is demons, so I don't know if LOV is in this.
Yeah, they are.
No, they're definitely in there.
Okay. Let me look for him.
All right. Anyway, chats, let's talk about some lists as the players. They just went through their secondary objective selections with each other. It looks like we are going to be deploying first with Tyranids. Slim over here dropping some Biovores down in the back. Doesn't look like anything is going to be deep striking or placed into reserve for the Leagues of Votann. So no real need to screen, but Leagues of Votann has probably one of the game's most powerful shooting armies. You certainly don't want to put those guys out and get them, have them lit up by this pretty impressive Ymir conglomerate shooting on the first turn. Obviously, these Turnkin Pioneers going down now for Raze. They do have the benefit of a pregame move, so you can fix that positioning real quick. So let's talk about lists real quick here, chat, before we get too far into deployment. Tyranids first with a relatively standard Tyranid list. This is coming out of the Kraken sub-faction. So we're being very fast. We have the stratagem for an 8-inch advance, and everyone is +1 AP on the charge. Certainly going to be very powerful once Armor of Contempt is added back in, or is removed from the game. That's going to put a lot of these the weapons in this army to punching through that power armor extremely efficiently. But it's very useful here against Leagues of Votann, since those guys will retain that Armor of Contempt effect even through the Arcs of Omen update, because they will have that built-in void armor. So this is a single battalion detachment coming out of that High Fleet Kraken. It is using interestingly Wreathed in Shadow as its chosen biomorphology. A lot of times you'll see Augmented Ferocity out of Kraken, which gives a charge bonus, so you can sort of stack your speed effects. But instead, I think we've seen this sort of creep into Kraken lists and other Tyranid sub-factions as the meta has developed in the Nephilim season, because as a response to Tzeentch Flamers, Wreathed in Shadow is actually a pretty big deal. The effect of the sub-faction ability is that you cannot be overwatched or set to defend against units with that sub-faction ability charging you. So you don't have to worry at all about these super heavy overwatch that your opponent might have. Now, obviously, Leagues of Votann, not the greatest Overwatch in the world. Very good Overwatch, I would say, probably above average, just giving the power of their shooting. But unlike something like Tau or Chaos Demons, they aren't quite as impactful. Tyranids also do have Paroxysm in their stable as well, so they do have ways to get around Overwatch besides that Wreathed in Shadow. But this just makes it army-wide, so you don't have to pick a specific unit not to be able to Overwatch you. This has a unit of Zoanthropes in it, a Neurothrope with the Resonance Barb, so +1 to cast, and knows an additional spell. A Winged Hive Tyrant with Reaper of Obliterax, so it's going to be getting its additional mortal wounds on top of normal damage and ignores damage ignore rolls. Interestingly, once Arcs of Omen ticks in, it will also be ignoring damage reduction effects, which is brand new interaction. The other thing that Winged Hive Tyrant is getting is Heightened Senses, which is a pretty interesting Warlord trait to be taking on that guy. A lot of times you'll see people play Adaptive Biology on these big, powerful Tyranid monsters, especially your Warlord, because the Tyranid army can sort of fall apart if you use your Warlord too early, so making him as difficult to kill as possible is pretty important. But in this case, we're taking that Heightened Senses to give it fight first and full hit rerolls. So this means that if you elect to play your Hive Tyrant aggressively and it ends up taking damage early, while it does reroll all of its hit rolls and has a floating reroll thanks to its Prehensile Pincer Tail, it's going to be getting all of those hit rerolls regardless, even if it's bracketed. So even though it's only rerolling ones and has one floating reroll, a Winged Hive Tyrant makes 7+ attacks depending on the stratagems you're using, and so you have a little bit of a ability to get through that downside there. Nurgle gifting another channel. Mead God 9119, thanks, or congratulations for getting that. There you go. Amazing. So moving on through this list, we also have 2 units of Gargoyles in this battalion detachment to fill out troops, alongside 1 unit of Tyranid Warriors, 5 Tyranid Warriors with Adrenal Glands, and Toxin Sacks, just Deathbitter and Bone Swords on those guys. Unfortunately, a combination of weapons that we will probably no longer see in Arcs of Omen, given that both of those weapons went up by 5 points. That's a lot. Now, in the elite slot, we do have some spice here. We have a unit of 8 Gene Stealers with an Acid Maw and Flesh Hooks in there somewhere. Gene Stealers, they do have a forward deploy effect, and this is actually going to be incredibly useful in this matchup because we have to be worried about the pregame moves from these Hernkin Pioneers. So these guys get to make a move before the game begins, have to end out 9 inches away from enemy models, and that means that they can potentially, if Raze deploys them aggressively and wins that roll-off, if there's nothing to prevent it, those Hernkin Pioneers can push forward and get a huge alpha strike on something. And especially if you can see an enemy unit with your call to begin with. And it does look like the high call is going to be pushed out in the side here so we can get line of sight to one of these Harpies. So to start using that Experienced Eye ability to drop Judgment tokens on that model, these Pioneers can push it forward super far with a pretty reasonable damage output. Each of them has 3 autocannon shots. Those go to AP2 if you're firing within half range, and that target has a Judgment token thanks to the Ymir Conglomerate subfaction ability. Plus, then they also have shotguns, so additional AP1 attacks that could potentially be going to AP2. Now, the effect of those Gene Stealers is that they're going to be able to deploy outside of the Tyranid deployment zone and literally just physically prevent those Pioneers from making pregame moves that go too far forward. And because Pioneers, while they are fast, they only go 12 inches with their normal movement, which means that isn't typically going to be enough to allow them to get around line of sight blockers on the first turn. So that's a big deal for those Gene Stealers. That's going to be huge. In addition, as long as you keep them in Synaptic Link to begin with, those Gene Stealers, you can actually sort of soup them up with a bunch of offensive effects, and you can use them as your own Alpha Strike if you go first instead, where they just push forward, they get to charge into something, and they blow it up. 4 attacks apiece at AP4, thanks to the Kraken subfaction ability, is nothing to shake a stick at. Those guys will eat up a unit, use some overruns, and just really gum up your opponent's army. Really love Gene Stealers. They're a little bit pricey, They're also useful in Recover the Relics and some missions and matchups where you need that forward deploy. But when you need it and you got it, it feels real good. We have a unit of Tyrant Guard in that detachment just to protect the Winged Hive Tyrant, make sure it doesn't get killed too early. 2 units of Raveners, Death Spitters, and Rending Claws, another unit that will probably not see play after this weekend, unfortunately. 3 Biovores, yet another unit will probably not see play after this weekend. Really, a tour de force of all of these overpowered Tyranid units that are getting nerfed. Biovores with the ability to perform an action to drop Spore Mine units on the table, each Biovore dropping D3 Spore Mines. Almost anywhere on the table outside 6 inches of enemy models, which gives them a lot of area denial. While your opponent will oftentimes get the opportunity to shoot at those Spore Mines before they actually get to impact them, unless the battle is very close in and you can put the Spore Mines behind line of sight blockers. It does force your opponent, it draws focus from your opponent from your actual units to the Spore Mines, otherwise the Spore Mines will explode on them. But it can also be used to just sort of prevent your opponent from taking objectives. It can be used to move block. They're an incredibly useful unit. That changing in Arcs of Omen, however, so that each one of those Spore Mines that they fire costs you 10 reinforcement points, which is unfortunately way too many. In addition, we have 2 Harpies with heavy Venom Cannons, one with Dermic Symbiosis. Take a quick look here. It looks like the Dermic Symbiosis Harpy is going to be the blue one, so that gives it a 4+ invulnerable save. The other one here with Voracious Ammunition, so able to do D3 mortal wounds after it shoots. Big punchy flyers. They can also drop bombs or Spore Mines, and that Spore Mine ability has been similarly nerfed in the new version. But again, chat, because this event started so long ago, these all started before any of the Arcs of Omen changes went into effect, so they are not being used for this weekend. For the Invitational, though, all new rules will be in effect. Whether or not Imperial Guard get allowed, that's the jury's still out on that one. but all of the Arcs of Omen and Data Site rules are going to be included in there. This is the naughty list for sure, chat. Yeah, Santa's over here writing down the names of all of these units to give them coal come Christmas season, because they're being mean to other people. Moving over to, I think, a little bit more interesting of a list. This is, generally speaking, I think, going to be sort of it's mostly Tyranid good stuff. You got the Harpies, they're pretty strong. You got the Warriors, you got the Raveners, those are all solid. You got the Winged Hive Tyrant. It's all pretty sweet. Over on the Leagues of Votann side, we have things are getting a little bit more interesting. Now, Raze and I just spoke before the game started, and he had some notes about the list. Basically, he was trying to build an Arcs of Omen list pre-Arcs of Omen. So based on the spoilers that we'd gotten from Arcs of Omen thanks to Warhammer community, he built a list using those Force Organization chart rules. Unfortunately, that means that he is handicapping himself a little bit by dropping down to a single command point to begin with, but the upside is that this list is going to be mostly unchanged once it comes to Arcs of Omen. It did increase a little bit in points. I think we lost 1 unit of guys or a couple Berserks or something, but otherwise, this list is basically just going to be an Arcs of Omen list. It is a single Outrider detachment coming out of Ymir Conglomerate, so we got a couple combos in there. First off, all of the ranged weapons increase their range by 4 inches. So obviously, those mid to short range weapons are going to increase phenomenally thanks to that. We can see these Hernkin Pioneers go up to range 28 and 16 between their autocannons and bolt shotguns. The Sagitors similarly go up to 28 and 40 inches, and the autocannons on the Land Fortress similarly go up to 28 inches. So just increasing, by about that, like 15 to 20% in terms of range is a big deal. That's also a big deal because if the target of these ranged attacks has a Judgment Token on it and is within half range, they're going to get +1 AP as well. So we have basically a glut of AP2 in this army that's almost entirely across the board going to be increased to AP3. I think almost literally the only AP1 weapons are on the Pioneers, the Hernkin Pioneers, which will then go to AP2. Once Armor of Contempt gets removed from Space Marine factions, I have a sneaking suspicion this kind of army is going to be lethal to those Space Marines. It is it is an absolute smorgasbord of AP2 to AP3 2-damage shooting, and I think there's a lot of Space Marine armies that will just fold immediately to that kind of exactly that style of attack profile. That is what we call a profile mismatch, chat. When you just happen to have not very good profiles to deal with your opponent. All right, so in this this Outredded detachment, we have a Forge Master, a Master Armorer, with the Forge Master Warlord trait. So he's going to be able to negate a one incoming attack on a vehicle, and then also he gets bonuses to repair. We have a High Call, so he gets to drop 2 sets of Judgment tokens down at the start. We have a 2 units of Chthonian Berserks. These guys have a couple concussion gauntlets in them, so the additional attack weapon. Otherwise, they're just taking heavy plasma axes. 3 units of 3 Hernkin Pioneers. Not putting too much into the Pioneers, but just taking the small units for utility. Those are the only objectives secured in the army, by the way. Ooh, looks like we got the roll to go first here. Raze on a 5. Tyranids from SlimHogan on a 6! Oh, man. I think Raze is getting a little excited there with the 5, with this 5 to go first. But Tyranids beating it. And now the Tyranids will get the opportunity, if they so desire, to push super far forward with these Harpies and try to do a ton of damage. The biggest thing is that, obviously, these Gene Stealers have been placed relatively aggressively. And we're also going to be able to see these Hernkin Pioneers move first. Or maybe not. Are we not doing that?
We'll do...
Oh, I think we're probably just going to pick Imperative first. That's what we're doing. Now, yeah, these Gene Stealers will get the opportunity. I believe that we've trailed one back to be in Synaptic Link range of the Winged Hive Tyrant, so we can, from the Neurothrope in the back, who has direct guidance, we can pulse a +1 to hit on them. The Hive Tyrant can grant them a reroll once to hit, and then this unit can potentially be advancing and charging thanks to Onslaught from that Neurothrope back there. Move 8 inches, plus an advance, potentially 16 inches if Slim elects to use the stratagem. Here comes the Hernkin Pioneer pregame move. Looks like they're just going to be trying to protect the Hecaton Land Fortress as much as possible. I'd like to see a little bit of gap filling in the back here, make sure it doesn't get bombed. That's the one thing it doesn't have great defensives against, is that mortal wound output. Yeah, I might have to reposition our friends a little bit there. There you go. And so a bombing run from 2 Harpies on the Land Fortress right now is going to be a little bit painful. Although, it's unlikely that it dies to this first round of shooting, and that will just mean that the Iron Master gets to repair it for a ton of damage, and it gets to go ham on some Harpies. That Hecaton Land Fortress, pretty solid at taking out the Harpies. These Sagittarius as well have a lot of Strength 7 shooting, and even the Pioneers, which means a lot of it's wounding on 4s. If the Harpies push forward, they're going to be in range to get a bunch of Judgment tokens. They're just going to take a ton of damage if they push far forward. What I think I would like to see here, because I think we will probably have some angles to get shots on some of these outermost Votann units, I'd like to see the Harpies actually probably hover and then just try to take pot shots rather than pushing too far forward and exposing themselves too much. But we'll see what Slim wants to do. The Tyranids benefit greatly from forcing the Votann army to push forward. And although Votann has to push forward a little bit in order to get on the center objectives, they don't, necessarily need to get shots if the Harpies move forward themselves. So if the Harpies stay out of range of the Sagittarius, for example, of their smaller guns, and they only take damage from the bolt cannons, which is significantly worse at killing them, they can force the Sagittarius to move into charge range of the Raveners, the Hive Tyrant, or the psychic powers of some of the other units. Looks like we picked Zoanthrope Imperative for the first round as well, chat, so everything's going to be getting a 5+ vulnerable save. Those Harpies are both going to be benefiting from a 4+ as long as they can stay within 6 inches of a friend. Oh, look at this push here, chat.
I was actually trying the mission 22 because I can obscure everything super easily.
Well, to be fair, I think if you just moved your Harpy back a little ways, I wouldn't have been able to see it. Like, I can't see the blue one. I can see the green one because it's close enough to the building to peek over it.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Ah, cheers.
We use the stratagem on the Gene Stealers, right?
Yeah, the Gene Stealers. Was it, sorry, did you ask can you or did you?
No, yeah, did you? Yeah, just actually did you?
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah,
Yeah, just make sure you drop your CP when you do that too.
Yeah, so I was up to 3, now I'm down to 2. Because I start with 2C.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay. Missed that on the list. Good stuff. All right.
So, alright, cool. So then we'll go Harpy.
So
It's gonna play.
we do have those Gene Stealers pushing super far forward. Now they are going to have a buddy if we want to be able to onslaught them, because we're going to have to get a Synaptic Link in range. It might be that these warriors try to do it. The Hive Tyrant also could push into the middle and then just get protected by the Tyrant Guard and hope that the Harpies are good enough to prevent shooting into it.
4 inches from there.
So it looks like, yeah, we're going to be trying to get some bombing runs from these Harpies onto this Votann army. And this is, look at this Alpha Strike. This is going to be brutal.
So I'll bomb Sagittarius number 1.
Okay.
If Votann can weather the onslaught and pick up what they what hit them, this is about a what is it? This is about a 600 point commitment from the Tyranids. So if you for the most part survive, you're going to lose a lot of positional effects. But if you can kill the Harpies and the Gene Stealers, it's a lot of damage from the Tyranid army that gets removed. Although this Kraken army has so much forward pressure if they do go first, which is great for them. And the real downside here, I think, for Raze, and this is probably going to be a relatively tough fight from here, just because of the amount of positioning that the Tyranids are going to get. The reason this is going to be tough is that the mission favors aggressive play so much, and it doesn't look like Raze is in a great spot to be able to grab that. I'm a little bit worried about the fact that he doesn't have any pioneers like sort of up in the top. I would love to see if I can get my telestrator on here. I'd love to see, for example, a pioneer unit like deploy here and then pregame move towards this objective to lock it on turn 1. And then you can lock it and potentially just leave if the Harpies don't come to shoot you. Obviously, they'll be incentivized to, but that means that we have to have a Harpy that's like sort of, orienting itself away from the actual damage, which is the Sagittars. So it looks like one Sagittar ate huge damage from these bombs. 5 mortal wounds. The other one down here, only 2. 5 mortal wounds is a lot. That's a slap in the face right there. Might be that we can pick that up with one shot from a Harpy, which would be really unfortunate. Although I do believe that the Chthonian Berserk units, the Chthonian Berserks have been split between these Sagittars. So each one of those Sagittars that drops out will be landing a Chthonian Berserk unit on the table. And those Chthonian Berserks are going to be a little bit tough for the Tyranids to trade evenly with if the Votann can deal with the Harpies. Because they obviously fight on death. And the Tyranid shooting once the Harpies are gone isn't particularly good at killing them. It will get there eventually, just with Death Spitters and things. And Psychic Powers. But at Toughness 5 with a 4+ damage ignore against 1 damage weapons, those guys will be able to tank pretty hard. And then if these Raveners come in, for example, the Chthonian Berserks can just fight on death and clear out most of the unit on the swing back. Which you don't like to see. But it really depends on how much damage gets done here.
Sweet. Now the Warriors will go up.
So it looks like some very cagey placement here from Hogan. The big benefit of these warrior units, and one of the reasons that I think we'll probably continue to see them in Tyranid lists moving on into the Arcs of Omen season, is that they are so good at... we got a guy back here. What's he doing? They're so good at trailing that Synaptic Link.
Customary judgment token for performing an action.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. We'll advance the Tyrant Guard.
Yeah, just don't forget this guy back here.
Oh, yes, thank you.
So, makes it much easier to trail your Synaptic Link if one of your guards is just like 6 inches out of coherency. So yeah, because we can measure Synaptic Link to the back of the unit to the guy in the rear area, and then trail the unit probably 10 to 15 inches forward from that guy, and then measure another 12 inches of Synaptic Link on there. That unit alone can basically extend the range of the army's psychic powers by about 40 inches. If they string out completely. We're also pushing forward with the Tyrant Guard. Just going to be hoping that those guys will not get shot too much. And I think this is the big benefit of having the Harpies in the Tyranid list, is that despite the fact that you do sort of throw them at your opponent and just ask your opponent to deal with them, they do a ton of damage on the Alpha Strike. This is basically the reason. We're seeing it in play here, that in the new data slate update, aircraft has been reworked to now be forced to start on the table, or to start in strategic reserve, so that situations exactly like this don't arise where your opponent just goes first and runs a bunch of aircraft into your opponent's deployment zone and then says go. So we see this a super aggressive position from this Hive Tyrant that would normally spell death for it, but because Raze has to formulate a response to the Harpies right now, otherwise, they have excellent profiles at shooting things like Sagittars and Pioneers. If he eats a second round of shooting from them, it's going to be brutal. He not only probably doesn't have the opportunity to try to exact a response to the Hive Tyrant, but also because the Hive Tyrant's going to be lookout sirred, it's unlikely that he's going to be able to shoot it at all, because there will be Harpies and Genestealers too close. A little bit of a downside of just Votann basically operating in a single phase, because they mostly are a shooting army, almost entirely. They have a little bit of psychic and a little bit of melee, but almost entirely a shooting army, which is very good, but it does mean that effects like lookouts are very detrimental to them. And then it looks like we're using these yellow dice to put judgment tokens down. This is one thing that Tyranids usually suffer from in this matchup, is just a glut of judgment tokens on them. Because Tyranids are very reliant on banners, most of the time they're going to be placing banners to several of their units to begin with. The Biovores also just slowly stack up judgment tokens, and we also have Psychic Interrogation going to be performed here. I actually wonder if that's why the Hive Tyrant's in the center there, or one of the reasons the Hive Tyrant's in the center is just to be able to psychically interrogate. And not to mention that this is Data Scry Salvage, so Slim's going to be performing that Data Scry action as well with a different unit. So he's going to be generating probably 4 to 5 judgment tokens every turn just from actions alone. Which becomes very, very relevant once we come to the late game. Assuming that Raze can weather the storm of this Alpha Strike and create a defense against the Beta Strike here from these Ravener units and the Hive Tyrant, then any of these attacks that he has left over in the late game is just basically going to be removing Tyranid units almost automatically. He's going to be shooting AP 3-2 damage, auto wounding on 4+, too. Into most of these Tyranid units, which, let me tell you, from speaking from personal experience, Tyranids do not survive that level of shooting. They will just fold. But obviously, the offensive power is where things are at for Slim right now, so I think he's going to have a pretty good turn. So how we feel in chat? Hope everyone's having a good weekend, by the way. It's been kind of an exciting one. Kind of an interim weekend, I think. There's a lot of people still on, as we are right now, still playing Nephilim. But there's a lot of excitement about Arcs of Omen. I saw so many Arcs of Omen games in the last 48 hours go up on the server. It's been crazy. People playing constantly. Between pods ending and then people playing Arcs of Omen. I've been playing some Arcs of Omen. If you've been watching the games over the week, playing some wacky lists that I've very much enjoyed. Rained out in California. Oh yeah, I saw some videos from Los Angeles. It looked absolutely disgusting. So much rain. We got a little bit of rain over here in Boston, but certainly not even close to what you guys were getting. Is there somewhere to sign up? So Zachary0688 exclamation point Discord will get you in. We basically, this is the finals of a one tournament in a series. We run tournaments on essentially a weekly basis. We call them pods. There's 16-player tournaments that run for 1 month, 4 weeks, 1 game per week, and all of those, in addition to a bunch of other like larger events and external events outside of the server, feed into the T5S2 season standings. And then every 6 months, we take the top 16 of those and they play an invitational. So the event that's coming up is the T5S2 Invitational. Those are going to be the participants in that are going to be determined tomorrow. End of day tomorrow is when the submission closes. And then we'll cut to the top 16 there, and those people will get invites. If you want to participate in the coming season, there are some waitlist channels. They're called Join a Pod in the server, and you can jump in to any of those and be able to... you'll get a notification as soon as you get added. Those will probably start pairing... I think the week after next. This coming week, I don't think I'm going to be starting any events, just because we're going to have a new map pool, and that's going to be in process. All right, here we go. We're shooting.
Let me check. Put on my time while I check. I don't believe I can use that stratagem. Oh, I can. Okay, I'll spend 1 CP for Mag Riders to give you -1 to hit.
Perfect. Cool. Do you want to throw it back to me?
On the 4s.
Do you want to put the time back on me?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
No, you're good.
I saved 1 hit. Toughness 5.
That's it.
4s.
So,
And
Wow.
cool.
So bounced off a Pioneer unit with the Stingers off one of the Sarpies.
nice.
I imagine these are going into this
That's
Wounded
really
Sagittor.
And 1 fail does kill me. Sorry, 3 saves. So I got a 5 up.
Probably slow roll here. See if we can
Here.
CP into a success. Good start.
Yes.
If we make this second one, ooh.
I'll CP reroll that.
Yeah, so if we
I
CP
pass it,
reroll and
then I
pass,
should be
then
okay.
the Sagittor survives. Nope.
Nope, so that becomes damage.
Because the Forge Master could save it. Looks like we're going to use the Forge Master ability, but it's not going to matter because the Sagittor is going to go down. That's too bad. There's a little bit of a gamble, but I do think that Raze probably has to play that way. And to be fair, I don't think this other Harpy shoots the Land Fortress. The Land Fortress is the real thing that you want to be using that ability on. Because you really want to keep that thing as high on its bracket as you can for as long as you can. So using this early is probably makes sense, because the Art of the Harpy, I don't believe, can see the Land Fortress, and only has Sagittors in terms of vehicles, only has Sagittors in line of sight that cannot be targeted by the Master Armor ability.
Yeah, that's fine. Sagittar dies.
Hey, Chacha got food poisoning yesterday. I'm so sorry, man. That sucks.
You
Looks like 1 Berserk goes down to the explosion.
just have to hit them.
I almost wonder if you... I guess you probably don't elect to emergency disembark. Oh, yeah, because Raze is out of command points. That would be why. But if you emergency disembark in the front here, you can threaten a heroic intervention from the Berserks, because we do have that stratagem for Leagues of Votann. But that combo costs you 2 CP. Assuming that you can do that. Actually, I'm not. Actually, I'm fairly sure you can't do that. Just kidding.
He's -1 to hit to both of them.
I don't believe that you can intervene out of a destroyed transport.
Start with the little shots.
Mm-hmm.
Should find- Can I save? So with, can I see? Oh no, I can't actually see from there. Can I?
You cannot. All right.
Can you also
Oh,
pass it?
Just
you get
confirming for myself. So you could put them in an annoying position and maybe force the Gene Stealers to charge them, which is good for you because you just get to trade with the Gene Stealers. Especially with those plasma axes, they can use the sweep attack to double their profile, and that's perfect for dealing with a relatively low toughness, bad save unit like a Gene Stealer. They're only a 5+ invulnerable, or a 4+ invulnerable in melee, excuse me. But doubling attacks they're winning on 3 should kill most of the unit.
Just 2 at -1.
5s either way. Oh, -1 either way? Oh, then 4-ups.
Oh no, it's just -1. So Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
your base save.
Okay, they're fine.
And then we'll do.
This looks like Singer Salvo's totally
the
missed.
Venom Cannon to Sagittarius number 3.
On 4s.
Probably reroll one. I'll be rerolling one of these. So I'm gonna CP that one. No.
Okay.
Ooh.
Freeze. Okay, just one.
Yeah, this is the weakness of Harpies, and especially outside of a sub-faction like Leviathan, where they get that floating hit reroll. They can just flub sometimes, and that doesn't happen. We have the Sagittor. They don't bracket because they only have 9 wounds. It doesn't appear that any more shooting is in range. I don't believe that we have any psychic powers in range. Yeah, nothing could have done additional damage there. So the second Harpy leaves the Sagittor alive, and that Sagittor may just run back to the Iron Master and get repaired. Which I believe repairs it back to full, or back to 8. I think it repairs for...
Is it 3? It's 3.
I think it repairs for 5.
It's just intervene as though it's a character.
Because it has its unit.
For any infantry. Infantry or bike? Let me double check that. It is familial loyalty. It's infantry or bike. 1 CP. So what are you charging then?
I'm just seeing if I can actually make space through the base size.
I don't think so.
So it looks like we're going to try to engage the land fortress. It is it's unlikely that these Gene Stealers kill the Pioneers because they do wound on 5s, although they have a lot of attacks. But the Pioneers themselves don't attack particularly well. They have 3 attacks each, but they don't have any benefits.
It is an even you cannot fit.
Beautiful.
Looks like the player's just determining that there's no space. I think, yeah, that would have been a really awkward position because you have to measure a vertical engagement range off of the extended portions of this fortress. So if you wanted to not declare the land fortress as a charge target, it would be extremely difficult. I'm also not entirely sure that you can fit your base through that gap, but maybe it's possible.
3 is enough.
If you probably can, it's just extremely tight. So it looks like Gene Stealer's just getting in. Stuck into some Pioneers. They do hit on 2s, rerolling 1s, which is pretty good, but wounding on 5s and forcing them on a 5+ invuln makes the second phase of that combat step a little bit tough. Although there's so many of them. 32 attacks is kind of a lot. And what we could potentially see here, because you have TCP floating for Slim, is that these Gene Stealers, if we're not looking to get into the land fortress, I imagine that we are, but if we're not, the Gene Stealers could get an overrun to just continue to move deeper into the Votann lines and pin that land fortress and the Sagitors in place and prevent Raze from being able to push up to these top objectives. Colossal! Thanks for the follow. Appreciate you. So far, I think the biggest benefit of the Tyranid first turn here is just their positional effect. They're locking a ton of beef from this Votann army into its deployment zone, and they're really putting themselves up in a position to score immensely, prodigiously on this coming turn. I think we also might have forgotten to drop Spore Mines. Although, that also means that we didn't put a Judgment Token on those Biovores, so that was fine.
And gain a Judgment Token for your efforts.
Okay, so everything went into one Pioneer squad. They did remove it. Exactly! Jesus, okay. Alright. And then it looks like they're going to be going in, engaging 1 unit of Hernkin Pioneers, engaging the Land Fortress. That does mean those Gene Stealers are for sure dead this coming turn. But what they may do is absorb a lot of that shooting from the Hecaton Land Fortress. Although it looks to me maybe that we're going to be able to drop Judgment Tokens. Okay, the second Harpy is not going to get a Judgment Token from the High Call, unfortunately. I think that the High Call literally can only put Judgment Tokens on this Harpy in front of it. But that means that we do have a single Judgment Token on both Harpies, and that turns on the Sagittors and the remaining Hernkin Pioneers. So, Raze just got to cross his fingers. He does have strats for rerolls, and he can potentially do some damage to these Harpies. And if he rolls well enough, he can kill them. but obviously he has to extricate himself from the Gene Stealers first, which is really difficult. Worst case scenario, I think the Gene Stealers are killed in melee, but you don't want to be wasting all that shooting.
This one's gonna within half an inch of that one, so I can swing with 5.
Flying Hive Tyrant is like a flying, flying suicide bomber. It's like a seagull when they go and grab like a clam or something, and then they drop it from the sky, and then they go back and pick it up and drop it again. Really good Flying Hive Tyrant play. You'll see them yo-yo in and out of engagement over and over again.
So winning on 4s. Either way, it's 5 saves.
Oh man, just clocked this Gene Stealer unit real hard with the Pioneers. Looks like 3 are dead, and these guys are out of synapse. They're going to be eating.
Oh, you put it on the Raveners. You're right. Okay.
They're going to be eating morale as well. That's brutal, actually. 4 die? Oh no!
With the land fortress, you get 6 attacks, hitting on 6s and auto.
That one judgment token from killing the Pioneer squad was huge there. No hits from the land fortress, unfortunately. That would have been insane. But that does force a morale check on a 5 or a 6. That unit's going to run. Do we roll it? No.
So they're good.
Woof! A little scary. That is a lot of Gene Stealers, though. Back in the day, they used to have a special rule that, because everything in the Tyranid army had the Synapse special rule, which had a whole, almost a full page of mechanics. In the 4th edition codex, Gene Stealers specifically had a rule that said that they were exempt from that, because they had their own brood telepathy, it was called, and they just operated normally. Now we're just represented by having a very high leadership value of 8, which is very high for Tyranids. Tyranids are usually 5s and 6s on their non-Synapse creatures. All right, so not as much damage as I think we could have been had from the Votann army here, or on the Votann army here, but obviously the downside is that we do have these Gene Stealers engaging a ton of stuff, engaging the Land Fortress, engaging the Pioneers. It's brutal. The Pioneers do have pistols, so they can fire into melee, and we can have that Land Fortress declare a smattering of attacks into the Gene Stealers to try to finish them, and then the rest into a Harpy to try to shoot out of melee.
I guess that'll be green. No, +1 to hit to the Sagittar.
Dude, this tentacle's so spooky, right?
My high call can see exactly one thing, so he's going to give a judgment token to your Harpy.
The other downside here, I think, for Raze is that we playing as experimentally as he has so little CP right now. And come Arcs of Omen, this list is going to lose a couple models because it goes up a couple points, but it is going to gain, I think, 3 CP, which is a very big change, especially for this follow-up turn. 1 CP is not really what you want because you want to be dropping rerolls on basically as much stuff as you can.
So, can I kill a Harpy? I actually don't think I can kill that Harpy. We're gonna... What's 8 inches look like? Not that much. Put these guys in terrain. I think we just picked them up in melee for the... No, they're not a grudge match target. So there's no reason to do that. So we'll start moving this Sagittar. He's going to move 12 inches over here.
Wow, pushing the Sagittar. Now, interestingly, I think the downside here is that the Sagittar is going to get killed by our psychic powers, and that's going to open up the models inside to get shot at. What Raze can do here potentially is place them in very annoying positions. Yeah, it looks like he's going to contest that objective, which is good, because there's only 1 Ravener on it right now. So that's going to force Slim down to only a 4-point primary, not an 8. Although we do need to see
3.8, so it's got
Raze pick up a second
which is going to touch the terrain
objective,
these bikes are going to just
or a third objective, excuse me, to
and touch this terrain.
Ensure that they
I don't know. Hopefully, I kill a Harpy.
ensure that we don't give up hold more points. We could see these Chthonian Berserks maybe run into the middle here.
I believe in you. I believe in you.
I don't.
Gonna try Fish of Fury with
50% is
Arcs
a-
of Omen
50%
rolls.
is
Feel like it's a
awesome.
better option now. I have seen that conjectured. I kind of hope it is. That's one of my favorite, my favorite archetypes for Tau. Now, interesting interaction here is that the Pioneers can actually charge the Harpy. They don't necessarily want to. The Harpy's only 4 attacks, but it is AP 2/2 damage, which is a little dangerous. It puts the Pioneers on their invuln if those attacks convert. But it does mean that if these Pioneers and these Sagittars drop this Harpy down to just a couple of hit points, it could be that the Pioneers finish it off, especially with Judgment tokens in play.
And my Iron Forge Master will keep the unit within 9 inches of this Sagittar. Cool, this is the +1.
So I think, yeah, the interesting thing here, to my point that I was just about to discuss earlier, is that while the Sagittar is going to die in the Psychic phase, any of the models in here that get removed, there's not, if these Harpies get reduced in power, there's not really enough to kill the Sagittars in the shooting phase. Or to kill the Chthonian Berserks in the shooting phase, which means that the Tyranids may have to interact with them in the fight phase, and that's where you don't want to be having to fight Chthonian Berserks. Especially these Raveners have a high volume 1 damage attack, which means the Chthonian Berserks, they get their 5-up invulnerable, a 4+ damage ignore, and then if you kill them through all of that, they get to fight you back. And so worst case scenario, you trade evenly with them, and in some situations, those Raveners will actually just bounce.
That's so these will be 4-ups, and these are 2 damage each, yeah?
No, 1 damage. These are just the shotguns. It's 3 saves at -2. And you're fine. Cool. And now we got the auto cannons. This is 9 shots. Hitting on 4s with full rerolls.
This is
6s
into
auto
the
wound.
Harpy, yeah?
Yes.
It's saving on a 5.
This is the one with the 4 pinvo.
Yeah, it's got Demic Symbiosis.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Reroll.
Just totally messed up there.
Cool. So these miss 2 auto wounds. It's strength 7 on
I don't know what I'm on about
so
today, chat. I'm just misreading these data sheets all day.
4s.
Yep.
Four more saves at -2. These are damage 2.
Right, do you want to put the time on me?
I am.
Cool. All the time.
Yeah, I'm out of synapse range. I could have sworn I read the voracious ammunition on that one, but we talked about it at the beginning, and it was the blue on Dermot because it was in it was in line of sight potentially.
Yeah, that's fine.
So he slim placed it more aggressively.
Over here, this Sagittar is going to shoot at the same Harpy.
Same with the command points earlier. I just
He's
totally
not-
missed that there's
he is
command
still
points in the
within
standard list.
half range because his range is 28 inches. So I'm
So it
just
looks
gonna
like Harpy's
I have to
almost
roll them
half dead
separately
here.
because they're different strengths. So this is the strength 6 gun, hitting on 3s, auto wounding on 6s. Sorry, hitting on.
Oh my
3s.
god! Look at these rolls, chat.
I might have gone to get there.
Yes, but I have +1 to hit from the Iron Forge Master.
Incredible.
Wounding on a 5 because your toughness 7. No wound. 3 saves at -2.
Baller from the Sagittar. Absolute insanity.
Take 4.
Down to 3. Ooh, almost
Next
have
gun,
it.
Strength 7. Hitting on 3s. 1 auto wound. And then wounding on 4s.
Look at that.
3
3
saves
more.
at -2.
Pretty good chance we just knock it.
Take 2.
Down to 1. Drum roll, please. There it
4.
goes. CP that? Nah, probably not. Thermic Symbiosis Harpy is down. And that's the power level. The power of that Tyranid shooting. Or that Votann shooting.
And it'll get me 2 on Grudge Match.
And starting to get up
Okay.
Ancestors and Grudge Match points here as well.
Sagittars to shoot. I think we just try and pick up some Raveners. So the back one's gonna fire first.
How did we get
Raveners.
Synaptic Insight points here, chat?
I can fire both buffs at the same time because the profile is the same into your toughness. So we have 12 shots. Hitting on 3s and 6s auto.
Alright.
Um,
I should ask before I make another pool of myself, right? I don't think that we scored on Insight, right? Because nothing here is Synapse. It's all Voracious Ammunition.
And then 3s to wound. 6 saves at -3.
I'll ask at the end of the round here.
Yes. giant cover. Soaks 1, 2 damage.
5 up to no pains.
He takes 2.
So looks like dropping some shots into the Raveners now.
He fails.
I think that so the big question here, yeah, there is a downside. I think Slim is going to be getting an 8-point turn here because he does hold 2 objectives and Raze will only hold 1 objective, unless somehow these Sagittars kill the entire Ravener unit, which is I think unlikely. Could create coherency problems there. Looks like if that goes down, look at his 5-ups have been solid. So that's interesting. But the real question here is going to be what happens to this Gene Stealer unit if this Pioneer unit. I guess the question is, does Raze elect to just drop like the bolt cannon shooting into the Gene Stealers and assume he's going to kill them? And if he does so, he frees the Pioneers and the Land Fortresses additional shots to shoot the Harpy. And if those all go into the Harpy, there's a non-zero chance that the Land Fortress actually just aces it. I think we may just drop rerolls on that thing and go for broke. It is 12 bolt cannon shots, potentially with rerolls and potentially with auto-winding 6s on the Gene Stealers, and that should clip them. But it is a little dicey. Or you could shoot the Pioneer pistols first to try to give the Land Fortress a better shot. But obviously, if those Pioneers get all the autocannon shots into the Harpy, that's going to hurt a lot.
Yep. Do I have anything left to shoot? The call can't see squat. So, no. We're just going to go to charges. These Zerks are going to charge your Gene Stealers.
Oh.
Is plenty.
We're just not shooting those units, I guess. Oh, okay, I see. So we're going to use the Gene Stealers to pivot the Berserks out. So that will drop Slim down to a 4-point primary. But you lose so much there. Raze just gave up 400 points of shooting to make that happen. That could potentially, not perfect. Actually, it's not even a bad odds that it kills the Harpy. That Harpy does not have an invulnerable save right now, so it just eats almost maximum damage from everything. Oh, I think that might have been worth the trade here, Chad. I don't think that Raze wants to get bombed again by a Harpy for a second turn. Looks like we're going to be pummeling that Gene Stealer unit. That will give up a couple points for Ancestors Are Watching, which is good. Only 7 wounds on the Gene Stealers. Might not actually kill them, and they may stick around for a turn just being annoying. We'll see what they do. They do have that good 4+ invuln. Looks like 2 go down. And then we're going to slow roll. Still 2. 3 are dead, so just 1 left. Last guy survives, yeah. Not sure about that line of play there. Yeah. Interesting.
So I'll go with my lone Gene Stealer, so they've still got reroll 1s and +1, so I'll just put it into the Land Fortress.
Sure.
4 attacks hitting on 2s, 1s, then on 6s.
It'll try and squish you back. I hope I roll 6 or 2.
Interesting. So Land Fortress is swinging back. We do get a wound 3 onto the Gene Stealer, thanks to that. Judgment Token, it kills it. Get wrecked. That's funny. So we do score out that Ancestors Are Watching. I'm not sure about that, though. We left a Harpy on full.
We're going to do invulnerable save. Should we be doing it?
So just to clarify, what scored the Synaptic Insight that turn?
So I killed 1 Sagittal, which is worth 2 points.
That was at the Harpy,
And
though,
then I
right?
killed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they don't get it.
Oh, you have to use Synapse models to get it.
Yeah.
Oh,
thanks, Trevi.
shit. Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh my god, thank you. Yeah, what a shit secondary. Cool.
It is a Tyranid secondary.
I mean, I guess we should.
You're right. You're right. I just didn't think it was that bad.
Did you declare you were doing Data Scar salvage with anyone?
Yeah, it was the gargoyles back here.
All right. Do you mind if I do that with my Iron Forge Master? It doesn't change anything. I might score a point.
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
Cool. So you're gonna get. This is a hold 2, hold 3, right?
Okay. I'm glad I'm only a little bit crazy today, chat. I'm only a little bit off my game, not entirely. So.
So yeah, so I'll get 4 points and I'll get 2 banners.
Yep.
And that'll be it. So Synaptic, we're gonna go. Ugh, now knowing that sign up shit, I think I really need to kill some.
Hey, it just gives me a chance. I mean, I got a goose egg on my banners right now.
So just to clarify too, the data intercept finishes at the end of the turn. So you'd get 1 immediately.
You got a 3rd point on data intercept because you held this point at the end of your turn.
Yeah.
And I would get 1 on my turn. Thanks for
I didn't. I wasn't on one of these ones, so it's only 1 for no man.
You were on these. Oh yeah, you're right. That also means your gargoyles got a judgment token for performing that action.
Yeah.
All right, chats.
Right. I think we're all caught up.
Getting through the 40k is a complicated game. Just making sure we're all on the same page. Good stuff. All right, so I'm not sure how I feel about this turn from Raze. I think that Raze was excited about scoring that Ancestors Are Watching, which is great. I love that for him. I think the downside is that he gave up attacks on this Harpy. And I think we may see that is going to come back to bite Raze in a huge way. Because this Harpy has a non-zero chance of just acing the Sagittor immediately, right out of the gate. Because the Harpies can pivot twice, we can see the Harpy pivot 90 degrees to face this direction, and then pivot 90 degrees to face this direction, and just fly directly over that guy. Bomb him, and exactly like we saw last turn, shoot it with Venom Cannons. And basically 1 or 2 conversions from that kills it. And I don't believe that Sagittor is in range to be protected by the Forge Master. I think the Forge Master is only going to be protecting the Land Fortress right now. The Land Fortress should survive unscathed, but I think we may see the Raveners go to touch it for a 2nd turn. Yeah, Raveners have a charge onto the Pioneers, which is a little bit sad. So we could see that just go and try to ace the Pioneer unit, which removes OBSEC from this objective. If they get enough in on this objective, they could take it, although that looks difficult. But they could also just contest this objective without actually dealing with the Chthonian Berserks. You trade a Ravener unit for a Pioneer unit, but also knock your opponent down a bunch of primary, and that feels really good. So I think, honestly, like, I would feel so good about this turn for Raze if that Harpy was dead. And although he would be giving his opponent another 4 on primary, the Chthonian Berserks would be in a less aggressive position. He wouldn't be threatening a 4-pointer himself, but I think Tyranids have so much damage in this early game. The first and second battle round in this matchup are going to be absolutely lethal from the Tyranids. If Raze can survive them, he basically wipes the entire Tyranid army out in 1 to 2 shooting phases. But he has to survive it, and I think that maximizing damage output in this situation would have been the right call. We'll see how it pays off. Obviously, you know, contesting primary objective points is a huge deal. But it is a little bit dangerous. I'm a little scared. I'm a little scared for our short and stumpy heroes over here. So it looks like the Zoanthropes moving out. They'll be able to get line of sight to either Sagittor they want. We'll probably try to knock out the first Sagittor with the incidental psychic powers from the Hive Tyrant, I imagine. Although the Hive Tyrant might be trying to get interrogation.
Enjoy your 2nd judgment token, sir. Let's make sure you get
Oh, that's going to tick up that Hive Tyrant on those judgment too. As soon as those Tyrant Guard go down, that Hive Tyrant's immediately dead. To those judgment tokens, that's going to be brutal.
Then we'll go for the raise banner. Raise banner here. Then we'll do.
So another judgment token going down on gargoyles for the banner. See if what we have for imperatives this turn. Looks like we're going for. Oh, excuse me. We had the Neurothrope imperative round 1, not the Zoanthrope imperative. We're going to be going for Zoanthrope imperative this round. That makes a lot more sense, actually. I think we're in a much better situation to get that invulnerable save. Yeah. So the swing back here shouldn't be quite as bad as it was anticipated on the Tyranid army. Because they do have that invuln save, whereas for the most part, the Emir Conglomerate shooting punches through their armor save entirely, because it's mostly AP3, and the Tyranid army is largely 4+ armor save. That 5+ invulnerable is going to be huge. So we got +1 to hit and reroll 1s on this Ravener unit. I think we are going to be going for those Pioneers. The Raveners do have Death Spitters as well, so they can fire those 3 shots apiece and try to knock out some of the Berserks. Obviously, it's a little tough. The Berserks should save... they save about 60% of incoming damage, which is pretty solid. Just on their invuln plus damage ignore. But you still probably get 1 or 2 from the shooting, and that's pretty worth it. Only 2 Chthonian Berserks is still a threat, but not quite as much as the entire unit. We could also see those shots go into Pioneers or a Sagittor if we need to finish it from the Harpy shooting. And then there's another unit of Chthonian Berserks in this Sagittor here as well that I don't think the Tyranid army has the beef to deal with right now. This is really the game for Chthonian Berserks. I hope we see them do some mad damage. They are a little pricey for their efficacy. But on a mostly melee-focused Tyranid army, they can just wade through. So Hive Tyrant moving in. I think we're going to try to get smites on one Sagittor and then melee on the second Sagittor and get both of them and then run away.
Do the Raveners have to take leadership for losing 2 models?
Not because they were next to the Synapse. They were next to the Hive Tyrant, so they don't.
Isn't that a warrior thing? Are these guys that have the same rule?
I'm sure that's...
Yeah.
That's Synapse and...
Yeah, that's just how Synapse works.
I don't know what I'm talking about. It's all Greek to me. Yeah.
Oh,
Sure, I'll just assume they're immune to morale. It'd be pretty silly to have a morale 5 model at...
I'll just read it for you. So while the friendly Hive Fleet unit is within 6, that unit automatically passes morale test.
A friendly Hive Fleet Synapse unit?
No, Hive Fleet unit. So, Kraken units.
Oh, that's the rule of Synapse.
That's the
Yeah,
Synapse
the
aura.
Synapse is a 6-inch aura where units in your sub-faction pass morale.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is indeed how Synapse works. And what a rule it is. It's actually interesting because it used to be a 12-inch aura, or 18 off Hive Tyrants in the 8th edition Codex, which was enormous. It was the whole table, basically, if you had your Hive Tyrants placed like aggressively at all. It being reduced to a 6-inch aura, I think makes the positional game a lot more interesting, because you already want to be in that 12-inch zone, but you don't necessarily want to be pushing up within 6. So you have sort of like a waning power of Synapse, where at 12 you're within Synaptic Link, but at 6 you get the full power, which is kind of fun. You should be frightened of the tentacles, chat. That's some Zinchian gobbledygook happening over there. We got a very nice Realm of Chaos themed board today for Data Scry Salvage. Although, unfortunately, neither of these factions are particularly Chaos aligned, so a little bit of a flavor fail, but it is what it is. Sometimes people just find themselves in the warp. Everybody's ships got lost or whatever. Although I don't think Tyranids travel with warp travel. I think they have gravity drives. It shows all my my lore knowledge. Somebody accused me of in a comment today of like being another one of those 40k lore YouTubers. I'm like, am I? Do I know anything about 40k lore? I'm not sure. I don't know if I would call myself that. So these warriors are really going to be the backline of this Tyranid aggression here. Obviously, the Raveners are pushing forward, but we've already lost 2 Raveners to incidental shooting. These Raveners will probably pick up the Hernkin Pioneers or come close to it, but be removed on the swing back. And these Raveners are certainly going to probably eat a Chthonian Berserk charge to the face and die. The awkward part is being able to kill those models and then also being able to push through and deal damage to the warrior squad. The warrior squad just has so much damage in that little condensed packet right there. 4 attacks each, AP 3, 2 damage, strength 8. What a profile!
They have both achieved their second judgment token.
Beautiful. Let's see it. All right. So that. Oh, sorry. No, I still need to make the hub. So.
True. It would be very unfortunate if it was destroyed.
That way.
For not moving its minimum distance. That's over here. You do have to move another 3 or so inches away from there. So you have to go at least 15 from your starting point.
We might as well just use our whole move.
Alright. Sure.
There's no reason not to. Cool. Alrighty. So then we will go into. Oh, sorry. He'll bomb.
Was he able to? Yeah, I think his base passed over the back of me.
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
I think it's High Fleet Kronos is the anti-demon High Fleet, if I remember correctly. And they were like, I basically only remember that because they were very specifically anti-demon in the 8th edition codex. They're the shooting one, so they want to stay far away from demons. And they had a bunch of stuff that mucked with like psychers and demons and stuff. Not being the shooting one was already best for the for like the meta because you would play Hive Guard with them. But then also they got to muck with psychic powers, and their relic punched through invulnerable saves which is why it was good against demons. That's some mechanical some ludo narrative synergy for everyone today.
Enjoy your free CP and your second judgment token.
Love it. And then
so
we'll
there's
go
a
to
psychic interrogation going off.
We'll go to the Zoanthropes, so they'll do their 3d6. Smite, of course. And that will be a super smite.
Cool. Do you roll a 3?
Or,
I take
of
1.
course, the famous 1. So it'll be 4 mortal wound.
Sure. Do I explode?
Yeah. Yeah, as long as its might goes off, that's edge towards that, unfortunately, because of the Zoanthrope ability.
That is Sagittar number 3, so that's concussive gauntlets.
So that'll be 2 on the tally now because they're a synapse unit.
Yeah, so that synaptic insight is going to be starting to tick up.
Pick up all of your gargoyles. I think that's actually worth it. Yeah, we're going to go... Let's see, your gargoyles are obsec, right?
They sure are.
Do I want to pick up both units of gargoyles? So the white squad's being covered in synapse from this unit, and the Zoanthropes are synapse?
Being a shooting army versus demons is the opposite of what you want to do now? Yeah. Yeah, it would be funny if that relic still existed. I mean, the relic itself still existed, but it does much different things now. It's just a big Stranglethorn cannon. But it would be funny. It would be like the Grey Knights, like Warlord trait, if it still existed, if the interaction still existed in the current codex.
I would be able to heroic into your Hive Tyrant and make you split attacks, or it gets stuck. That seems more useful. I don't think I'll kill it, but hey, let's try. 1-inch melee on the Hive Tyrants.
Just to be clear, they cannot intervene.
Oh, they can't disembark in heroic,
yeah.
Right? God damn it.
Which is good because we looked that up earlier this game. Look at us go. Just make sure the players don't go through an entire turn with making an incorrect rule. So yeah, I think getting away from the Tyrant Guard makes sense. Although they would love to hit the Tyrant Guard. Actually, that's a very good profile matchup for them. Looks like no one goes down to the exploding transport. That is good because there's a Chthonian Berserks at 30 points a model. You definitely don't want to be randomly losing those guys. And now we have both Gargoyle units performing actions, so the Gargoyles aren't going to be able to shoot into the Chthonian Berserks. And
So
the
that
I mean, maybe we shoot them with Raveners, so we might lose one or so to the Raveners. But I think it looks like we're gonna have 2 Berserk units alive this coming turn. So this is gonna be a this is gonna be a bloody coming turn, I think, here, chat. What's gonna happen is probably we lose these Pioneers. I think we lose both Pioneer units most likely for the Leagues of Votann. We lose the probably both Sagittors as well. So we're left with the Hecaton Land Fortress and like 20 Chthonian Berserks just running around. So the question is, does that win you the game? I'm not sure it does, but we'll certainly we'll certainly make a game of it. There's certainly going to be a lot of dead Tyranids at the end of this coming battle round. Going to your first tournament next week in Crash Tactics. Any tips on how to keep your play quick? I actually have an advanced tactics video on playing quickly on a chess clock. I think like army knowledge is a big thing. Knowing what your models do, so you're not looking up rules, and so that like you know what weapons you want to shoot where is important. So that's a big one. Just like make yourself some flashcards. I always advise that people you go through like the stratagems and your weapon profiles and stuff, and then you think about situations where you would want to be using those, so that you have them. They're like fresh in your mind before you have to go back and use them again.
Oh yes.
And then also like planning your turn throughout your opponent's turn. That's a big one. Especially like, you know, come your opponent's charge phase or something. As long as nothing huge happens, just like be thinking about where your models are going.
Big shots into.
But I hope you have a great time in your first tournament. Also, keep hydrated. I don't think it gets said enough. Keep hydrated and eat snacks. It's like an incredibly mental process, and you're on your feet for a long time. And one thing that people kind of leave at the wayside is taking care of their body. But I've always found, especially if I have like big jugs of water, I feel like much better at operating on the final game. If I haven't drunk anything all day, I'm like I'm a hopeless mess in the final game.
Your inbound, please.
Yep, 5 up. 5 up. All right, I'll take it. 5 up. Hey! I'll never complain about my bad dice for the rest of this turn.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Then 4 shots into the Sagittars.
Yep, 4s then 5s.
Sorry. Is that Raveners shooting into the Berserks there?
So 2 minus 1.
4 ups. Takes 1. He takes 2. Yeah, that makes up for it.
On the important shots, of course. And then on a so with mortal wounds, do you get a 4-up feel no pain or a 5-up?
It looks at the damage profile of the weapon, which
So
this is.
mortal
I
So
don't know.
mortal.
Can this proc on? Is this an upgrade to a specific weapon?
No, it's not actually on the weapon, Janko. It's outside.
I think I would be on a 5-up because you shot the heavy venom cannon at me, and that one's multi-damage.
Yeah, so this is each time this model shoots after it's finished making its attack, select one unit that was hit by one or more of those attacks, roll 1d6. On a 2-up, that unit suffers mortal wound.
Right, so I think because the weapon that's proccing the mortal wounds is multi-damage, I won't get +1 against it.
Right, okay. So we'll do it on a 2-up.
Mortal wounds don't have a damage
And then
characteristic.
d3.
They're treated as a single point of damage, but they don't
Oh,
actually have a
One.
characteristic
Do
profile.
I feel it? I do. We'll just put that on an axe.
So that was the Harpy. So the Harpy bounced off the Berserks? Oh no! That's terrible. So I imagine here the game plan is probably going to be to engage the Sagittor such with the Raveners and the Hive Tyrants. Shoot the Berserks down as far as we can get, and then engage the Sagittor with these models to make the placement of the additional Berserks very difficult. If Slim can't do that and has to deal with 10 Berserks in this area, that's going to be very difficult for him. And that means that this Harpy isn't shooting at the Sagittor, and this Sagittor can come back, get repaired by the Iron Master back up to full, just continue to shoot, and those Sagittors have literally perfect profiles of shooting at these Raveners. Raze wants nothing more than to get more turns of operating Sagittor guns into them.
Shoot your Berserks.
Okay.
This will be 15 shots.
So yeah, Ravener shooting into the Berserks here.
3s, then 4s.
2's rerolling 1s.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Sorry. 2s rerolling 1s, then 4s.
Now
All right.
Oh
Dice want me to-
man, these dice are so bad for Tyranids right now. Bouncing off this Berserk unit as well. Do we kill a Berserk here? Looks like the saves aren't doing too great now. One does go down. All right, that's all right. We're getting somewhere with these Ravener attacks, but that is not what you want to be seeing. Yikes. That's a yikes. That's gonna be a yikes for me, dog.
Sure. Yeah, you can see the Zerg.
So we just get 3 shots.
We're trying to fire a Tyranid Warrior at them. See if we can clear out that last guy. Nope. Oh my god, dude.
Okay.
Shooting Phase killed a single model so far.
The Neurothropes blew up the transport, right?
Yep.
Yes, they get a judgment token for that.
So that's going to be everything for shooting, I believe. So, oh, fireballs.
Are they shooting or performing the action?
They're performing their action, which is shooting.
Joy, that's 3 judgment tokens. No. It's 1 action, and they each
Well,
one makes
they're-
E3.
They're a unit.
Yeah, so they get a judgment token for doing an action.
And I'm just realizing, I think I actually forgot to do my spell last time, didn't I?
Indeed.
Cool. So that'll be...
Oh, big 8
8
though.
spawns.
So that's a lot of Spore Mines. And that will swing things quite a bit.
Can't
Those
wait
Spore
till these things
Mines
cost points. They're so...
can impact Berserks.
You're probably like, what,
Sort of deal with
30
them
points
while
you hit every time still?
not
Because it costs 10 points each
not
time.
proccering their
Like, when you
Fight
have
on death.
30 points, do you only get 3 total?
To be honest, as soon as I saw it cost points, I... Yeah, cool. I did. Alright.
So the big benefit of these the Spore Mine position here is that it also pulls focus from these
It
gargoyles.
has to be, what, outside of 6?
I'm sure there are, like, small arms that especially these pioneers have. Well, if we have any pioneers remaining at the end of this turn, to be fair. But there's small arms that these pioneers have that would love to go into those gargoyles, but obviously with the Spore Mines here, they have to be trying to clear those guys out to prevent mortal wounds from coming down. That was a big roll on the Spore Mines. As bad as this shooting face has been for Tyranids, that was a huge number. The D3 Spore Mines per Biovore is actually sort of insane. I'm surprised it's not 1 Spore Mine, to be honest. Because sometimes you just roll 9 and you just get immense amounts of value from those guys. That would have been a nerf, I think. It would be pretty reasonable. Maybe you point psych the Biovore a little bit and then you just make it 1 Spore Mine.
Respect my melee range, sir.
So going to charge
Easy.
phase, sticking
And
with
you
that
can
one
just
dead
run
model.
through.
I can't heroic because they were put out of a transport this turn. But yes, the heroic is normally 3 inches.
Yeah. The Raveners will charge the Sagittars and the Sagittars and the Bite. Yeah, so we'll charge the Sagittar and the Bites.
Sure.
Here come the Ravs. Charging the Sagittar gives them a little bit of an easier charge move. I think... gotta watch out.
You cannot end your movement there because you did not charge the
Sorry
Zergs.
about that.
It's alright.
Yeah. There it is. Nice. So this gives Slim a little bit more flexibility to place these models where he wants them to be. Definitely wants them to be trying to ring off this Sagittar. Engaging with this second Chthonian Berserk unit is going to be a little bit dangerous if he ends up doing that. I think they just pick up that Ravener unit basically for freezies if he touches them. And I think basically, but I mean, by basically, I mean for sure, they just will kill that Ravener unit. And then, whoa, the other Ravener unit's going into the Berserk unit. Leaving the Harnkin Pioneers. Chat. What? Oh, I think we're going to try to engage this Sagitaur with pile and consolidate moves, assuming we can kill them. But this swingback's going to be so bad, and these Raveners are out of Synapse range. We had just talked about the rule, and I forgot. So which means they're going to be forced to take morale if the Chthonian Berserks kill any of them, which I imagine that they will. Especially since that being out of Synaptic Imperatives as well, they don't get that 5+ invulnerable save. This is dangerous play, Chads. So I think what I expected here... Yeah, I certainly expected a hit on the Pioneers and just push those guys as far forward as we can. But this does potentially lock down a second Sagitaur, which is a big deal. Although these Twin Concussion Gauntlets are huge. +1 attack at 2 damage is enormous. And although we don't have Judgment tokens on these guys, I don't think you necessarily need it. They are Strength 8, so they're winning on 3s. So we do have... Oh, trying to engage the Hecaton Land Fortress, it looks like. All right. I like the position of these Raveners, but I'm not entirely sure they're going to still be there at the end of this turn. See if that Catalyst keeps them going. They got that Catalyst on them.
They have the other weapon as well, the Ravener Claw.
Is there a special rule in the Revenant Claw that says it makes an additional attack?
Actually, no, you're right. No, sorry, I'm thinking of different.
Yeah.
No, so it's just 25.
It's the Scything Talons that make extra attacks.
That's the one. Yeah, that's... Cool.
So 2s,
25,
rerolling 1s. And
that's
then
it.
3s.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I
God.
actually missed some. Yeah, he missed 3. Let's go.
Oh, that was the hit roll. I thought that was wounds for a second there. Oh, that was a terrible, terrible roll. Looks like, no, we rolled pretty well for wounds.
5 ups.
16 go through. We have 5 ups into 4 ups. Decent saving roll.
4 ups.
That was okay, I guess. 4 ups. What can we save here? Doesn't spike high enough. So that will...
We're going to keep... Oh, no. There's only 5 wounds in the unit.
Yeah, that will clip the unit, but they're all going to fight.
Damn, that would have been huge.
Do they not fight on death?
Oh, they do. You're right. Okay.
Yeah. That is like the whole reason you take them. That's why they're so expensive, Raze. Let's go. Punch those guys back.
No. So we'll do the Concussive Gauntlets first. They get 4 attacks each, so we'll do 8 Concussive Gauntlets. You do get a Judgment token for destroying a unit, because they are still destroyed. They're just not removed until the end of the phase. So these will be hitting on 3s, auto-wounding on 6s. Okay, 1 auto-wound. And your toughness 5, and I'm strength 8, so 3s to wound.
Oh, brutal.
It'll be 5 saves at -2 for 2 damage each.
Yeah, so I get 5 saves at 6 up. And I
Take 10. He takes 3.
I think we might have missed the -1 to hit here on the Raveners. See if we can get it for
kills
the next
1,
thing.
and then 4 dice for the last guy. And he takes 2. And then we've got 6 axes on... Actually, if I do the damage 2 version, I'm wounding on 3s. It's only 3 attacks, but it punches through either way. Is damage 1 or damage 2 better? I think the +1 to wound is better, so we'll just do 3 attacks with the damage 2 weapon. On 3s, 6s auto wound. And then on 3s again.
I don't know if we rolled it on the first one, but they should be hitting on 4s, right?
Oh,
Concussive
yeah,
Gauntlets?
-1 to hit.
Oh, you have -1 to hit and naturally?
Yeah, that's just
yeah.
that's just an ability to have.
Okay. Then that's 1 hit, and then I'll wound on a 3. I'll
Sag.
CP reroll? No, that's
Yeah,
fine.
Reroll would be
I want to interrupt with my bikes.
a little
which I
dangerous
will.
here.
Actually, you get to consolidate now, if you would like to consolidate.
I would love to.
Yeah, because you consolidate after you finish making attacks. Sorry, you finish making attacks, I attack back, then you consolidate.
So clipped him. Dodged the swing back in a big way.
I
Only
will
lost
swing
one
back
Ravener
with-
to that.
I will interrupt with my
Ooh.
mics.
This is a little scary. The downside there is that we can't use the Chthonian Berserk Strat to full reroll hit rolls because they haven't been selected to fight, unfortunately.
We're gonna go inch and a half to here to get within a half
Which would have been
inch.
great. That would have been so brutal. But we do lose one. The Raveners are only leadership 5, so there is a non-zero chance that we run away from
So we'll make
them.
9 attacks.
So
and then
interrupting with the
Oh,
Pioneers,
kill the
which is a
unit,
little
so you
bit.
get a second judgment token. So 9 attacks, hitting on 4s apparently. Auto winning on 6s
I think
with
the
4
first they got the first judgment token from killing a unit, right? We
they
gave them
got
one
a
when the
judgment-
Berserks were killed, and then that was the first one that they got. I don't believe that they've gotten 2.
I think you're right. I think I put a judgment token on them, and he said they fight on death, and I went, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so hitting on 4s, auto wounding on 6s with full rerolls. That's 2 wounds, and we'll just reroll all the misses.
Full rerolls?
Yeah, that's from the high call.
Is that
Another
the
2
I thought that was
wounds.
the reroll ones?
No, the high call can
Oh,
give
they-
a character or a bike or infantry unit full rerolls to hit
Okay.
during the command phase, and I
Use
gave
the
it to
chat.
them. Then wounding on 4s because they're strength 5. 8 saves, no minus.
Okay.
Four.
It's a hell of an interrupt here. Only 4 up saves, and one guy's on 1 wound, so we're almost for
I'm
sure
lucky,
going to
I'll
clip
kill
1
2.
Ravener. Oh, just got
I
the
was
one.
not lucky. I only killed the 1.
But I kind of
that's-
love this play
wanna
chat
consolidate
because
probably.
I mean not only does it remove a lot of attacks from
All
these
I'm gonna
Raveners
do-
to the
because
point that I
these
don't believe
Raveners-
they will almost for sure not kill the Pioneer unit. They have to basically full convert to kill the Pioneer unit, which is highly unlikely. But also this is forcing a lot of morale checks on the Tyranid army on these units that may not be in morale, unless we see this Winged Hive Tyrant remain in this position, which I don't think that we will, because I think it gets conversion beavered into oblivion. I think the Winged Hive Tyrant almost for sure has to overrun back to this position right here where this die is, probably, to keep it alive for another turn.
Good.
And then the other 5.
This has been a roller coaster ride of game so far, Chad. I think Raze is still going to have a tough time, a little bit of a struggle getting back on the score, but I mean, he's been able to hold his own so far. And if one of these models can kill this Ravener unit
then we'll do
and clear out the other one, then I think sort of things go absolutely ham. If the Sagittor kills this Ravener unit, which is unlikely but not impossible, then the Land Fortress will go apeshit on someone. Piscato _5. Thanks for the
7
follow.
attacks in total. Hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s. Oh, sorry, not rerolling 1s. Hitting. Oh, okay. 6s, auto wound. Then on 3.
So it looks like use this Adrenaline Surge, get additional
So I take 3
Three.
mortals off the bat.
additional
Yeah.
attacks, and then we're just
And then
rolling 5 up
5-ups.
invulnerable saves. How many 5 up invulnerable saves can we make? Not
Crazy.
enough.
Do I
Goodbye.
explode?
Goodbye, Sagittor.
I do explode.
No, and oh no,
Okay,
it
Sagittar
kills
will
the Ravener. Chet, no way.
So that'll kill.
One mortal
my-
wound.
Is it to the closest?
I
It's
don't
two.
believe
Everything
that.
within 6
That's
inches.
wild. We may also kill the
6
Chthonian
mortal.
Berserk here, which is unfortunate, but that means that the Raveners
Tyrant takes a mortal
are
wound.
that much less likely to stick around, assuming that. Did we just delete the Hive Tyrant?
Your zone throws take a mortal. You have the.
Okay, there it is.
This turn?
Yes, I do.
No, you have a 5-up invo save.
Oh no, that was last turn. I got
Yeah.
5 up.
So my Zerks on a 5-up, they don't feel it.
This is wild, chat.
Kills the guy.
What a turn from Tyranids so far. So that one Berserk goes down.
Is my
You're gonna
call
clip a
within
wound off the
6?
Pioneers,
My
yeah.
call takes a wound.
Is
The
it
bikes
6
take a
inches?
wound, and I think that's it.
There's no way it's
I
a
have to get
6
guys
inch
out of
arrow.
the Sagittar. This is squad 4, so these are just axes. Let's see. What does 3 inches look like for you? Up here?
Oh my god, it is 6 inches for the Sagittor explosion. That's bizarre. Alright. Huh.
I don't think I'll be able to fit the
So
whole
I think,
squad
yeah,
out.
there's gonna be no standouts for this
On this
Ravener. Lost 3 friends, so it's highly likely that Ravener runs and frees those Pioneers up. It may clip out. Oh, it will almost for sure clip out the Pioneer over here.
Okay, whole squad fits there. Let's see how many of them die.
Yeah, filled with C4. 2 Berserks go down. All right, well, that wasn't that great. And unfortunately, we're running low on incidental shooting here to clear these spore mines out, so it's going to be tough for those Berserks to push in a big way. Although they should be able to come in and just eat the Zone Thrope unit and potentially kill a Gargoyle unit over here. And there's another Judgment Token on the way to our turn. Yeah, that guy has to get out of there right now. A Berserk unit will accidentally kill him if they get to attack.
That's at the end of the phase.
Do you not have to spend it immediately after you kill the unit?
I'll spend it now.
Yeah, I'm just making sure you don't miss the opportunity.
Okay.
So we'll fight with the Land Fortress first. He gets 6 attacks, hitting on 6s and auto-wounding on 6s. Nothing. And then the Sagittar fights.
This is the most melee attacks I've seen a Land Fortress make in a game, I think.
I think so. Let's see. Let me check this objective. Is it within 8? It is, so I don't actually need to move up, but I'm going to get closer to the wall just to make getting over the wall easier next turn. It has +1 to hit, so it's going to hit. Oh, this is the Harpies.
So it looks like we're going to be jumping Chthonian
So it's hitting
Berserks
on
back to
5s and
objective
auto-wounding on
1.
6s. 1 hit, winning on a 3. 1 wound.
Oh, and it gets supposed to hit from the Forge Master.
Feel no pain.
Is it really? Does that guy actually affect melee attacks too? That's wild.
Yep, all right. So the Raveners lost 1, so they do run on a
They should do. They run on a
5.
No, they run on a 4.
You're fine.
Good.
Ooh,
And these
that's
Raveners are
weird.
within 6 of your Hive. Oh, sorry. You wanted to move the Hive Tyrant now?
But he does run anything.
Yeah, so that clears out the Pioneers.
That
Wow,
will give me
what a
a
trade.
point for... No, wait. I get no rules trigger off of a unit running. And he read 16 up here. That is way more than 16.
That was 17.
Oh, does he have the +1
Yeah, he's
movement
got-
thing?
Correct.
All right. If you're done, you can pass the turn to me. I will give you some judgment tokens. I'm going to give a judgment token to these Raveners for being on an objective.
I
Start of
do-
my turn.
I do get 3 on Data Scry.
Yeah, I get 0 primaries. The call is going to say full rerolls to these Pioneers. He's going to say, I see you, Harpy, to give you a second judgment token. And he can say, I see you, Neurothropes, to give them a second judgment token. Yeah. So we shoot these Raveners to death with the...
So I think
Land
the Raveners will trigger your secondaries for fleeing because they don't check immediately. They check either at the end of the phase or the end of the game.
Alright, so that'll be 2 points on Ancestors Watching. And
I think
2
it is
points
almost
on March
literally
Match.
only No Prisoners is the one that checks immediately when the model's destroyed.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Cool, I'll take it.
Just throw a fucking spin on it.
Yeah.
Okay, do I want to give... Yeah, so we're giving full rerolls to the Pioneers again. We're giving 9 inches.
Oh my god, chat. This game has
I'm
been
not-
wild.
My consolidating put me out. Okay, no. We're going to give +1 to hit to the Sagittar. We're going to pray I can kill a Harpy with bikes. Is that the game plan here? Alternately, I could get out and charge these Raveners with my... It's worth 3 points if I kill them with my melee attacks. It's worth... I'm definitely going to... Yeah, I think I'm actually going to charge them in melee. But then again, I could charge something over here in melee and kill it. Like if I pick up... No, that's not... It'll be worth nothing. I think we kill the Zoanthropes and the Gargoyles.
Oh, so the Iron Master is ranged weapons only. Yeah, that
And we
would
try and
shock me
gun the
if it was
Harpy to
melee.
death.
Tech Marines are ranged weapons
Alright, so
only
we're
as
gonna
well.
get the unit out
and
of Sagittar
I thought it was
2,
basically the same ability.
because they gotta go raise a banner.
And so that's the last unit, is it? Or is there still more?
Yeah. That's everything. All of my Sagittars are empty. I think.
It was winning? Well, on points, it's Tyranids, chat.
Gotta come back.
But it could very quickly become not Tyranids, depending on how this turn goes. This game has been incredibly swingy. Tyranids came out of the gate swinging, very aggressive turn 1. But unfortunately, they got biffed a little bit. I mean, Votann are difficult to kill. So they killed a Pioneer unit, they killed a single Sagittar. Raze played very conservatively, I think to the point that he could have killed both Harpies and he didn't go for it. And that I think that gave the opportunity for the Tyranids to sort of punch back on a beta strike. They killed a couple more units, but their shooting phase was abysmal. They killed a single Chthonian Berserk in their shooting phase. And then their fight phase killed another unit of Chthonian Berserks, but unfortunately, we clipped out 2 more of the Sagittars, so there's only 1 remaining. But unfortunately, due to a canny interrupt and some awkward explosions, the Pioneers at the bottom here were actually survived almost unscathed. They took a couple of damage on 1 model, and that's going to allow them to deal some serious damage. Now that we're continuing to stack up Judgment tokens on this Harpy, I mean, I think these Raveners are going to go down for sure. This Harpy's going to go down for sure. And when these, there are 2 small units of Chthonian Berserks in here that could go in and potentially knock out everything on this objective, which is going to be a huge swing. So I think the question becomes, like, can Tyranids fight through the remainder of this army with just the Hive Tyrant and the Warrior Brick, as well as the support models back here? I think the answer is probably yes, but it's certainly questionable, especially since the Hive Tyrant has been fully stacked on Judgment tokens. So as soon as that thing commits and gets shot at, it's going to go down very quickly. Nothing in the Land Fortress chat. Only the Sagittars had occupants.
Is it?
But we're basically, besides these Spore Mines, we're basically about to remove all of the Tyranid ability to do mortal wounds, which is mostly the zone throws. We can do a little bit with the Hive Tyrant, but the Hive Tyrant's going to be trying to psychically interrogate the High Call basically all game. And then, you know, obviously we can run more Spore Mines into things, but we can set it up so that that Land Fortress, you know, may actually just survive the Hive Tyrant. Between the Forge Master's ability and the just the natural resilience of these units.
He's raising a banner. Finally remember to do it. Do I want to raise a banner with the unit of Zerks? Sure. And in the event I need to, I can just charge and the banner will break.
Sounds good.
These guys are gonna move. How fast the Swarm Mines move?
Inky's going to be my co-commentator for a little bit here, chat.
Explode is 7. I still think
You may hear her in the background.
With shotguns to kill them. Right, I was gonna move these guys farther than they went, because I think I can get to the terrain. Let's see, he was here. What's 12 look like for you? Nope, can't get to the terrain, that's fine.
We're also seeing those Votann secondaries stack up pretty well, too. Already at 10 on Ancestors are watching. The only thing Tyranids are really bossing on is Psychic Interrogation right now. They're threatening a lot of banners points currently, but I don't know if those banners are going to stick. At least one of them is going to go down to these Chthonian Berserks, I imagine, unless we see some insane saves here from the Gargoyles. We also could use a Blinding Venom on this little unit of Berserks to prevent it from doing too much damage, but we'll see.
These guys, we'll start with these. Pioneers are going to shoot everything at your Harpy. I guess we'll do the easy stuff first. The Land Fortress will shoot everything at your Raveners.
So Land Fortress is just going to try to clear the land.
We'll start with the bolt cannons.
Looks like we went through 16. To repair the Sagittar, which I believe we can do in addition to doing the action.
Hitting on 2.
Because they will both trigger at the they'll both trigger at the same time. So Raze can just stack the sequencing however he wants.
Melee attacks only. Okay. So hitting on 2s, auto wounding on 5s. It's a lot of 1s. 5 1s, cool. And then wounding on 3s. It'll be 11 saves at -3. So that punches right through. Now you have a 5-up info.
Should have declared that conversion beamer, my guy. Pretty sure this Ravener unit's gonna die.
So 2 damage each or 1?
Yeah, that's a little unfortunate, but
and
it
I
is
still
what it
have
is.
a big gun to shoot as well.
First one.
Oh, that was all the shots together, actually. So it's not quite as much of an overkill as it looks like.
That's done
That's fair.
Then we'll just go 2 at a time now. Sorry, 1 at a time.
He takes 1. And he takes 1, but dies. Dies.
Doesn't want to fire of it.
And then just roll 10 dice.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, well, actually, looks like we will just peel that unit real quick. Seems good. Should have declared the conversion beamer, probably, but that's okay.
It'll be my 2 points for killing in the shooting phase, and it'll be 2 points for grudge match. Okay. Then means I didn't need to charge them. That's fine. That holds this 2 objectives. I didn't strategic scan because I'm smart. It's fine. I need to kill the harpy. So will these 4 bikers will dump everything at your harpy? Get them, lads. 6 bolt guns. Or sorry, 6 shotguns. Hitting on 4s and auto wounding on 5s.
Yeah.
2 hits. Winning on 5s with these. Nope. 2 saves at -3. Sorry, -2. -2.
This will be 5 ups.
Make them both.
Cool.
9 auto cannon shots. Hitting on 3s, auto wounding on 5s. 3 wounds. And then these wound on 4s, because they're strength 7.
Would you not be hitting on 4s? -1 to hit.
Oh, yeah. -1. Wounding on a 4. Just 3 saves at -2 for 2 damage. Okay.
Takes 2.
That's bad. We'll shoot the high call at your spore mines. He gets 4 shots? 3 shots. He's got a disintegrator. Okay. On 2s, 6s cause immortal. And then 2s again, I guess. 1 mortal wound and 2 saves.
AP.
Nothing.
3s.
Alright, kill 2.
Sorry. That was
That was on the spore mines. Yeah. These
So-
bikes are gonna shoot everything at your harpy, I guess. No, we're gonna shoot the shotguns at your spore mines and everything else at the harpy. So 6 shotguns at the spore mines, hitting on 3s, rerolling everything. And then their toughness 2.
Toughness 3.
Alright, 3s to wound then. I kill 6 of them. That's the unit. Did your job, shotguns. And then 9 shots on your harpy, hitting on 4s with full rerolls. 5s auto wound. I'm just gonna reroll the misses. And then these wound on 4s. Be 7 saves at -2 on the harpy for damage 2.
5 ups. Okay.
Yeah. It takes 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He takes 8. Okay. Charges. These 3 axes are going to charge orange and your zoanthropes, because mine as well. Uh, 8 is plenty.
So I will just say this as well, just before you do any
Sure.
page made. So gargoyles do have access to a 1 strat to -3 rolls.
That's fine. I have a 1 CP strat to reroll to hit. So let me double check that.
Yeah, but they can turn off rerolls.
So that would be 2 CP then? 1 for -1 to hit and 1 to turn off rerolls?
No, same strat.
It turns off rerolls and gives me -1 to hit. That's
Yeah.
man. Ids are
So if you
super
don't-
pushed.
if
Yeah,
you don't wanna
it's
touch
fine.
the
I'm still gonna
gargoyle,
charge them both.
Yes, the gargoyle strat
So
is the
let's
pushed
see.
one in Tyranids.
Hunter's Mark. No, that's an auto hit. Is it Can Bond? Let's reroll wounds for 2 CP.
OP gargoyles.
Yeah, it's 1 CP to reroll hits for the Zerks. This squad is just going to charge the zones.
Cool.
Get them, boys. 4. I'll reroll that charge distance into a 4. Cool.
So they have an 8 for a reroll.
Yes, they just rerolled to a charge distance. Well,
yeah, chat.
I guess I can still get
Let's
to you. So
push
you can't...
gargoyles to like 22 points a model or something. 1 CP, you can't reroll against them, and -1 to hit. Oh my god. Too strong. Too strong. Also, start a fight phase so your opponent gets to play around it.
What timing do you use the strat on?
Well, it's once you've declared your attack.
Okay, so these pioneers are going to charge your gargoyles. They need a
I
7.
believe, to be clear, I believe that the gargoyle strat is start a fight phase.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, you target
so
an
we're
enemy
gonna-
unit to be affected by it at the start of the fight
We're
phase.
gonna charge the, and is that they have -1 to hit and can't reroll attacks targeting the gargoyles, or is it just period?
It is
Depends what
everything,
hits.
I believe.
It's nice to think since it's they're next to the high tower. I believe that's like the combo. I'll double check it.
Yeah, so at start of the fight phase, select an enemy unit within engaged range of a gargoyle's unit. Until the end of the phase, each time an enemy, a model in that unit makes an attack, it can't be rerolled and gets -1 to hit.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the purple pioneers are going to charge the harpy.
Oh yeah, because they fly. Yeah.
Yep. I can go 10. I don't need to go 10, so we're just going to put myself within a half an inch, and then line these boys up on him. Nice, way to go. And then orange is also going to charge the harpy.
yeah, chat.
4 is still enough.
Gargoyles, I think.
Get within a half an inch of this guy.
I think actually
wanna
literally
stay within
unkillable.
3 of the high call with the back one, so it's probably not going to get to fight. But it might. It might. Oh fuck. That was 3.7, so I got 0.3 left. And then the 3-inch consolidation to get within a half an inch, and then consolidate towards this. Okay, that might work. You have the CP to interrupt.
Should it?
Yep, okay, so I'm going to move to the start of the fight phase. Do you want to use any strats?
Yes, I will. I will do -1 to a hit and no rerolls on this squad of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we're going to go
Certainly
with...
worth the command point there to try to keep that gargoyle unit alive.
They're going to make 9 attacks against your harpy.
Could still go
hitting
down,
on
but if that
3s
gargoyle unit
and
survives, then
rolling on 5s.
Slim maintains control of objective 6, so retains his
That was
banner there
bad.
as well.
5s to wound. 1 save, no minus. Yeah, let's go. Take
That's
that
good.
wound. Oh, 3 up, armor save. Okay. This squad of bikes is gonna go. Get within a half an inch and stay within 3 of the high call. So 9 more attacks. Okay. Hitting on 3s, full rerolls, auto wounding on 5s. So we're just gonna reroll everything that's not a 5. These 2 wound on 5s. Nope. 5 more saves.
Score time. Good.
Cool. Yeah.
Sweet.
Do you want to interrupt?
No, I don't think.
We're going to activate this unit of Zerks. I will spend the 1 CP for full rerolls to hit.
Good.
And we're going to go with the damage 2 mode. So, yeah. So I can roll these all together because you're toughness 5. Yeah, so I'm going to be winning on 3s with all of them. It'll be 8 plus 6, 14 attacks.
Sounds good.
Hitting on 3s, auto wounding on 5s with full rerolls to hit. We'll just reroll the misses. And then these 4s and 3s wound on 3s.
Really solid attack there. Oh my god.
Make 11 saves on your 3-up, 2 damage apiece.
I think these Zoanthropes might be.
2 apiece.
Yeah, 2 damage apiece.
Might be dead.
I'll roll 5 first.
I kill 1. Kill 2. Alright. Ah, damn it all.
I'll get in the box.
Wow. Stuck him.
Well, I do 2 damage to the last one.
So I think with the -1 now.
Okay,
Oh yeah,
and then we're just going to orbit around this guy.
So we'll keep that last Zothrop alive, and it will heal off of.
I hit escape, so he stayed where he was.
Mortal wounds, assuming the Neurothrop gets up close enough.
Okay, so we're just gonna dump all my attacks into the gargoyles. We're gonna use the damage 1 version. So that's 18 attacks, hitting on 4s.
See if we can push through these guys. Looks unlikely because they do get a 5+ invulnerable save this turn. Remember?
Yeah, thanks. Hitting on 4s, auto wounding on 5s. And then wounding on 3s. I killed 10.
So we do have 5-up invuln saves.
Because you're within 6 inches of a synapse? Okay, yep. I kill 7.
Sure do.
I think the ones on this objective are going to be out of 6. Yeah.
Yeah, but I can string him back. 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's do it. Cool.
Okay. I will consolidate this guy over here onto the objective, because why not? And that is me. You get to fight back.
Alright, I'm not going to bother fighting it 3 attacks.
You have to. If you are engagement range, you do have to make your melee attacks. So you got 2 that fight. I don't really think it matters, but... They're strength 3, so I don't think that wounds.
No, that was the hit roll.
Okay, and then you got a Zoanthrope to fight with.
Oh, yep. So you get 3 attacks. 3. 4s. Nope.
They're 5s. And then you got your Harpy. Which one unit is he attacking?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just going to attack the orange one.
Okay. 1 hits, winning on a 3. Yep, saving on a 5. Actually a 4, because he doesn't have a melee weapon. You kill the bike.
-2 damage.
You kill the bike on 1. That is my turn, sir.
Cool.
Let's see.
Chat.
Anything to do in the cleanup?
You better frickin' roll those gargoyle attacks, you fool!
You get... Sam, you get 8.
So not quite as good of a turn as we were hoping, I think, chat. The downside there was, so the Sagittor fell back and got to heal, which was great. You get a bunch of wounds back, which is good. But the downside is obviously that that means it can't shoot. And that means that we didn't quite have the beef to free up the attacks from the Hecaton Land Fortress. So I think, realistically, what probably happens there is that the Sagittor puts everything into the Raveners, kills most of them. Slim either has to elect to pull the Raveners out of engagement range of the Land Fortress, which he's probably not going to do. which means that the land fortress will still be engaged, but gets to fire its bolt cannons at the Raveners and clear them, and then it gets to fire its autocannon and the conversion beamer into the Harpy. That would have killed it probably.
So I'm gonna
Relying on just the Pioneers is a little bit dicey. Really, I mean, really, this Harpy probably should have been dead last turn. But Ray's playing extremely conservatively with the vehicles. Yeah, chat, because the turns are timed, there are compulsory actions you have to take. So it takes time from your clock to roll the attacks, basically.
Alright, so we'll start with.
It's not like hugely relevant, but it does matter.
Rotate him this way. Yeah.
So here comes bombing runs. Are we gonna go for the Sagittor again? This is if this Harpy turns around and clips the Sagittor, we're gonna be so mad. Although that's so unlikely because of the presence of the Forge Master.
So we're gonna do bomb Sagittar number 2.
Sure.
Or
Take
more
two.
ones. We'll go to the Tyranid Warriors. So
Yeah, we do have those
will
warriors
auto
shooting.
advance
You
them.
could see the warriors try to blink into the Sagittor. I wonder if we, burn the CP for the big boy advance. So we go the full 15. So I think the game plan here is the warriors are just going to try to charge the pioneers, get onto this objective, and knock that banner down. I think Slim recognizing that he will probably lose his army, but at this point, it's basically going to be just a game of denying his opponent primary.
Please respect my 1 inch of melee range, good sir.
It doesn't look particularly like the Berserks are going to go down. It certainly could happen if the Warriors just put everything into them and try to kill them. But it's only 15 shots. And we saw how tough those guys are earlier. And we could see the Harpy try to shoot at them. Actually, that might be what happens. I think if the Warriors just come in, try to engage the Land Fortress again, keep everything pinned into this area so that there's nothing on these objectives. And then the Harpy and the Warriors try to kill the Berserks. Most likely drops Raze down to another 0 primary. And I think that's going to be difficult enough to come back from that. I think it secures Tyranids the game. Certainly not an easy one by any stretch of the imagination. But looking pretty good for them.
Cost me 2 CP to heroic with the Zerks, 3 inches.
Alright, so Hive Tyrant will. Fine. Then we'll go to the Tyrant Guard. They're going. Alright, so we're going to move the gargoyles. We're actually going to. Actually, I need to.
I will point out I do not have 2 CP with which to heroic this turn.
Oh, it's 2 CP.
Yeah, it costs 1 on Hearthkin Warriors.
Gonna do big boy string over here with these gargoyles.
I mean, it's cool. I can heroic with any infantry or any biker unit, but it costs 2 CP, which is a lot.
So just trying to do a contain on the Chthonian Berserks here.
Five Wars, might as well just move up. And that is my movement phase. Yep. Sweet. Alright, so then what we'll do is we'll go into the psychic phase. So Hive Tyrant will do his interrogation.
I think you just have to shuffle these guys real quick. I'm not sure that is coherent.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Probably just move this one dude over.
Thank you, mate.
Do you want them on the objective?
Thank you.
Did he have movement to make it to the objective?
Yeah, those models only move like 8.
Yeah.
They move 12.
Okay. I also cannot revert the objective because it's underneath the terrain. Very cool.
You straight up can.
Thank you.
The bomb. We did do the bombing, chap.
So
It did 2 damage to the Sagittar.
Thank you for that, by the way. We'll do psychic interrogation.
Hey,
that
you
does
didn't get an
that.
extra CP. It's a miracle.
And waiting. And then we'll do the neuro. So he's got the 3d6. So we'll do advance and charge. That definitely goes up. So that's up to 10 warriors. And then feel no pain. That goes up as well. We'll have caveat. Then what we'll do
All right.
is the zone throat will smite in combat.
These
So
super
it gets past.
Cool.
So it is a super.
Yeah, real fun. D6 plus 1 mortal wounds. To take 2. It's small
Yep.
consolation.
It happens all the time with zone throats.
5 ups. I take a wound. We'll put it on an axe. No, we'll put it on a gun.
Unfortunately, I don't think we got the narrow throat close enough to heal that zone throat back. It would have been cute. So it just planks the Berserk for 1. Also, the Hive Tyrant's out to get anymore. Well, he was doing an action, so it's fine.
Then we've got, that's it for psychic. So we go into shooting. So we'll start with the warriors. They will put all of their shots into. Actually, no. We'll start with the carbon. So he'll put his everything into the Sagittar.
Okay.
All right, Sagittar.
Start with the small shots.
What do you got, buddy? You tank again? We do have the
5
Forge
to
Master
move.
there, and this is really the only attack that the
It's
Forge
one
Master cares
7
about.
on a 3 up. Oh, probably a 4 up. Is it AP minus 2 or 1?
AP -1.
Okay, I save on a 3 up.
Yeah, so needs to convert 3 Venom Cannon shots now, which is looking unlikely. Huh? The 4 misses, right?
Oh yes, thank you, because he's
Oh, yeah. We'll just pull a success.
so that was 1 less, so that was 4 in total. Irrelevant.
Okay.
Oh,
Still 3.
literally the same. All right, fair
Okay,
enough.
on a 5 up.
Yeah, I got a slow roll here.
And a 5 up.
So that will save him because now the Forge Master's ability triggers. Yeah,
Alright.
he takes
And
0.
a 5 up. Damn, crazy. That gun had 0 damage. Who knew?
Yep.
Seems good.
Then we'll go into the gargoyles.
So unfortunate that we left that Harpy alive for 2 turns, but fortunately it hasn't done anything. So far has not mattered. Definitely would be good though. I think the downside here is that we're gonna have to continuously like allocate attacks to it to stop it from attacking, and that's just pulling models
5
from the
ups.
stuff that Raze actually cares about shooting at.
4 up.
Christ.
Yeah! Let's go!
Okay.
The most ridiculous slap fight ever.
Mhm. Then we'll go that 5 wars.
Doing their action.
Mhm.
Okay, get another
So,
judgment
7.
token.
7.
Yeah, unfortunately, we also didn't shoot the Harpy. We actually didn't shoot anything at the stuff up top. So those Berserks are going to be unscathed until this coming turn. So Raze is going to be on the board for primary now. Slowly but surely getting there.
Pretty sure you can't fit
That looks a little close.
Yeah, yeah, this is where I want.
Yeah, I don't think there's a
yeah,
a
there's
section
no
in
landing
there.
spot there.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm just saying where I want to.
Oh, sure. I will point out you have a little under 19 minutes left.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah, I think we should be okay on time as long as we
That
don't
is
take
with
any
the
too
6
long
inches
turns,
of
because we only
course.
have 2 more turns to operate. Slim should be able to operate 2 more turns in about 7 minutes apiece, which is not too bad.
The purple ore
In
is-
fairness, most of these models are going to be removed so shortly, I think. The Warriors are going to get in there. They're going to kill some Pioneers. The Hive Tyrant is going to kill some Pioneers. And then the Land Fortress is probably going to kill the Warriors, kill the Harpy. These Berserks are most likely going to kill the Zoanthrope. And then kill all the Gargoyles. And then we'll be off to the races. I believe that at the end of this coming turn, Slim should basically just have the Hive Tyrant alive. Or at the end of this battle round. The Hive Tyrant and the support cadre back here.
That's
support
all.
mine down here. Where do I put this one?
Get over.
All right, great.
Then we'll go into charge. So we're going to charge the Warriors into.
Charging into the Berserks here is probably... I think either one of these is the right play. Charging into the Berserks has the potential, or is highly likely, I should say, to clip out both of these objectives from Raze's control, whereas otherwise he'd be taking one. But this way retains the banner, which could be worth a similar amount. No, yeah, we're going to go try to knock that banner down. That makes total sense. That also prevents any of these models from data scrying this coming turn. And removes the Pioneers, which are objective secured, which is huge. Once these Gargoyles get killed by the Chthonian Berserks, the Hernkin Pioneers are going to be like massively important. It'll be interesting to see if the High Tyrant goes for the High Call. I think it probably does, as you probably want to limit the amount of Judgment Tokens being put out now. The Call kind of has done its job, and he's also worth a lot for Synaptic Insight. But that does remove an easy Psychic Interrogation. That means that you have to keep the Forge Master alive, and you have to push far enough forward to get the Forge Master. But I think we're in a position where that's okay. I think Tyranids are still advantaged, chat. Don't get me wrong. I just think that they're going to be in a pretty solid spot with basically no models left on the table. I think that Raze... It seems to me that Raze has like couched his damage just enough that Tyranids were able to get kind of a handhold. I think if with the amount of damage that Tyranids, like Tyranids in the first 2 turns mostly bounced. Only their melee attacks did significant damage. They killed 1 Sagittar basically, and then they killed stuff with melee. If Raze had swung back sort of and done, you know, I think expected damage on the crackback, I think he breaks the back of the Tyranids army. As it stands, I think we're still in a... Like, we've got a game for sure, but I think Tyranids are still probably 60% to win.
Could you hit escape for me for a second? I want to make sure he's not closer to the Land Fortress. 2.5. Nah, I think they're equidistant. 2.6. No, he's closer to the Land Fortress, unfortunately.
I don't think that changes too much.
We're going downhill very quickly.
I don't know. You are crushing me pretty hard on the points right now. No, they worked so hard for this banner. You're gonna have to put a model in this bubble to be in cohesion.
What happens if Slim runs out of time? Then Raze just solitaires the remainder of the game
Yeah,
out.
that'll work. So fighting with 2?
Just
It will
three.
most likely be
Yes.
game over
One,
in
two,
Raze's
four,
favor
five.
if Slim runs out of time, like
Rerolling
right now.
twos, rerolling ones.
Mm-hmm.
6, 6,
I think Slim
explode.
just needs to, yeah, he just needs to speed things up this last turn or two.
Cool. So 2 auto
He
wounds
should
and
be
2
okay.
explosions on the side.
He just can't hit analysis paralysis mode.
I think you have to roll to hit with those 6s. Explosions normally. It doesn't matter. Just keep rolling. So it's 6 wounds. Yeah, they hit. Cool. You did it.
Yeah, so 6 wounds plus 2 auto wounds.
Okay, so total of 8 saves. It's AP minus a billion.
3.
Okay, so 5 ups. First, since our damage 2, he takes 2. And then I kill a bike. 5 ups. He takes 2. You kill a bike. And then 5 ups.
A little confused here,
you
but I
kill the
think I'm going to
unit.
kill them anyway. Yeah, there's no
That
way
was
they
pretty
survive.
important.
And then they'll be
Good
able to push
job.
forward.
Be 3 on the tally. And I'll just move him there.
And you'll get your
Right.
second judgment token for killing that unit.
Cool. And then Hard Tyrant will do his attacks, so he's going to get 5 attacks. And then we're going to do hitting on 2s, rerolling. This is explode. That. Cool. 1 auto wounds.
So that's 1 mortal. Yep.
Strength 10.
So I take 3
So-
mortals. Do I make
3
enough of
mortals,
these
6
saves? Damn, crazy. Unit's dead. Who knew?
Cool.
Goodbye,
And,
Eniers.
Overrun.
So not engaging the land fortress with the warriors now. So the land fortress is free to shoot whatever it wants,
That is nice.
which is a big deal.
Okay, I got nothing left in melee. You can pass the turn to me.
Pretty reasonable that, yeah, and we have 14 minutes to roll out 2 turns, which I think should be fine for Slim. So
We're going to say +1 to hit. 2
we're on the table for Raze. This banner gets removed.
Yeah. High Call will say full rerolls to himself, because he can do that, which is really funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, yeah, this is where I think things turned on their head pretty hardcore. If Raze executes things... Oh, no, we have to roll out.
Sagittar should pick up all of these spore mines,
We
so
have to
these Zerks will put up a banner on that.
We have to
objective.
resolve this combat.
Oh, you're right. Defender chooses I will fight your zone throw. We're just going to use the damage 2 mode, same as last time, so it'll be...
Yeah, I think that the
8
unit was
plus
dead
6.
like long before Raze finished rolling. But
you can choose not to make saves, but I do have to make my attacks. It is required. On 3s, these auto wound.
I appreciate Raze is very studious about time consumption, and I appreciate that he does so like on both directions.
Which is non-existent and just die.
He forces himself to roll out his attacks when
that
it's
will
not
get
necessary.
me 2 points on Ancestors Watching for killing a model during the fight phase. Okay, and then these guys are going to consolidate. Do you want to consolidate into your gargoyles? That would just let your gargoyles fight. I think charging is more important, so I'm not going to. So, High Call is going to say, I see you gargoyles, and give them a 3rd judgment token. And he's going to say, I see you warriors, to give them a 3rd judgment token. This is on your Live Tyrant. So this squad should definitely be able to pick up orange, and this one should be able to definitely pick up white, which will take the objective from you.
Yeah. So, yeah, if assuming that everything goes well,
This should be able to
between the High Call and the Berserks, we should kill all the gargoyles and put enough models on the center objective here. This is objective. Oh, you can't even see it, so it doesn't matter. On this objective to take that and clear the banner. These guys should be able to take objective 6 and clear the banner. And the land fortress and the Sagittar should easily be able to kill the Tyranid warrior unit. Assuming you can do that,
no enemy units are
Tyranids are going to be left with this stuff. Holding 1 objective, so they'll get one additional banner point up to 6. No additional primary.
Okay, so this Sagittar is going to move 12. Is going to slide. I actually have to tilt. I have to pivot in order to get past your harpy. So that's about an inch of pivot. So I get 11 more inches.
Yeah, it's an aircraft, so you actually
So
don't
it's
have to
gonna
worry
go
about
11
it.
to here. Pick up all of these Ore mines. Land fortress is gonna move.
Ooh, fortress. Going off the objective.
6.4 to there, and it's just gonna get close as it can to this warrior in the front without actually touching it. So I gotta go back a little bit.
Gonna get up to conversion
Can I
being that
see a
unit,
hive
most
tyrant?
likely.
I can, but I can't shoot it. This Forge Master is just going to move on to the objective. That way, if I need to, I can use him to clean up. Yeah. These guys are going to move up. 5 to here.
So I guess the
Going
interesting
to move
the
here.
interesting thing is that it feels like this harpy may survive.
Okay.
But
some shooting.
if it does, it actually isn't that relevant anymore. It can kill the Sagittor, which is a big deal because that is a scoring unit. But assuming that this stuff is able to clear out these spore mines and there's no additional damage coming into this area,
We will start with
like the harpy can disrupt objective scoring that way, but it can actually hold objectives. So it's not really going to have much else of a impact on the game, which is kind of wild.
Can I beam anything else? Nope. We'll beam the harpy.
Is it two very low scoring armies against each other, chat? Is that what we're saying? Because yeah, that is correct.
Use the CP to auto hit with one of the shots. I'm straying 8.
Yeah. Yeah, Tyranids. I mean, we can already see sort of the dynamic is in play, right? Like Tyranids have big old Garbo secondaries. Their psychic interrogation's doing very well, but otherwise they're doing distinctly mediocre. But have great primary objective control because of how aggressive they are. And on the flip side of the table, Votann is terrible at holding primary objectives because it's tanky, but they're not particularly fast, and they're not, you know, they're not super tanky. But it has decent secondary objectives, at least in the early game. That Ancestors Are Watching may cut a point or two if the Biovores survive,
Saves at -3 with no cover.
which could be very relevant.
-3.
So
Just go straight through.
Yeah, okay, so it's 2 damage apiece.
Probably would have been good to -1 damage there. So 2 damage apiece. I've got Phono Pains.
He takes these are 2 damage. It's 14 saves, 14 wounds. So he failed the first 2. You just roll him again. Okay, so the first 2 shots killed 1.
And then we've got 2.
There you go. Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, I always like to. I get a different colored dice, and I use those in
One.
addition to the.
No,
basic
no,
ones.
they're only 3 wounds.
Oh, it kills another one. I'm thinking Raveners.
Yeah, so 2 warriors. Yeah, this should basically just be the unit.
2 dead. Puts 1 on 1.
Clips
3
him.
dead.
There's number
4
4.
dead. And then
That guy
just
just
roll the
has to roll 10.
10d6 for the last
Yeah,
game.
he'll be fine. Don't worry. Yeah, he's
He
not.
perishes
That's the
as
unit.
well. So that'll be 3 points on Ancestors.
Those Tyranid units, guys. I'm telling you.
And then we've got the
Do
Beam
not
Cannon
survive
Harpy.
against ranged
Getting
attacks.
on
This army is
3s, 'cause I'm minus 1 to hit.
paper.
I'm gonna spend 1 CP to auto hit with one of the shots, and we'll roll with the other one, which misses, and I'll CP reroll that miss. Cool. It hits, and then wounding on 3s. You take 4 damage. Is AP -4.
Oh,
Harpy's still alive.
I'm stupid and should have seen if I auto wounded with any of those. Let me
It's
check my
it's
last
the
5 rolls.
land fortress.
No, I rolled a 4. Okay. We are going to shoot all the guns from the Iron Forge Master into the Harpy. He has a Graviton rifle. 3 shots hitting on 2s, which becomes 3s for flying. Cool.
We believe in you, little guy.
We have...
Can you finally clip out this menace? Kill this menacing harpy that's been with us the entire game. Please, someone, stop it. Cease its rampage.
A plasma torch. Nope. What's the arcane assistant got? He's got a las beam cutter pistol. It is range, so it hits on a 4. Sorry, hits on a 5, and auto. No, it hits on a 3. Okay, so it hits on a 4 and auto wounds on a 5. It misses. Okay. So the Sagittar is going to shoot its Strength 7 gun at the Harpy, and we'll shoot my Strength 6 gun at the Spore Mines. So 6 shots at the Harpy, hitting on 4s, auto wounding on 5s, 1 auto wound, and then wounding on 4s. Yeah, 1 save at -2.
Okay, so be further.
Do you explode?
I don't want to see either. No.
I don't know if the explosion matters. You do explode. No, don't explode. Okay. And then 6 shots on your Spore Mines, hitting on 3s. And wounding on 2s. 4 Spore Mines die.
So we finally got rid of the Harpy.
Yeah.
It took us the entire game, but we
You
did
gotta
it.
Pull your Spore Mines.
Yeah. That's
Okay. Down here, the High Call will shoot at your Gargoyles. He gets 3 shots, hitting on 2s. 6s cause a mortal wound. He gets full rerolls, which I'm not going to bother rerolling. Wounding on 3s. Wait a minute. Let me double check something. They have 3 on them, and I rolled a 4 to hit, so I get 1 auto wound. Whatever, it's fine. We'll just say the success I made. It's AP 0.
AP 0?
Yeah.
And how many, sir? 2?
Just 1. I rolled a 1, 2, and a 6. I kill a gargoyle.
And that was the white or the orange?
The white. I can't see the orange. Okay, over here we're gonna go to the charge phase. This unit is gone. I killed the Harpy, so that'll be 2 more points on Grudge Match. We're gonna charge these Zerks into orange and white.
You scored 1 banner this turn, right? From this one?
I did. That was my first banner, I believe. It is only
Oh,
battle
okay.
round 3. I didn't have any banners on turn 1 or 2.
Gotcha.
No, I put it up on turn 2. Yeah. So 6 is plenty. We're just going to put this guy within an inch of both, and we'll go either direction as needed. This squad of Zerks is going to charge white. I get 11, which is plenty. Sure. Let me check the objective marker.
So I
We're just
wonder
gonna
if
leave
we
we're going to put every model on the objective and leave a nice corridor.
try to drop the strat on the Berserkers unit again, just for the off chance that it keeps this Gargoyle unit alive. Unfortunately, I'm not sure it will do it. This unit has 8 plus 6, 14 attacks. The hit on 4s and a 4 just kills someone. I guess actually it's not too bad.
Into your Spore Mines.
There we go.
Yeah. Get them.
Yeah, so this is an important charge here. The Sagittar, I actually think the correct play here, we'll see if Slim makes it. I think the correct play here is actually to hold the Spore Mines and not to detonate them. But obviously, if their Sagittar does kill one,
I guess I could. Yeah, that's fine.
that
I'm gonna
that's less damage that could be going into the Berserks.
At the start of the fight phase.
You want to move yours second time? Sorry. When I was trying.
What do I need to move? Did you bump it?
Yeah, I bumped it accidentally. I moved it back.
All right.
So it
Do you
looks
have
like
any
they
strategy you'd
just-
like to declare at the start of the fight phase?
Peel 2 damage into the
What
Sagittar.
do I do? -1 to hit.
On your target?
with the rolls, we're going to be putting that on the. We'll put it on. Yeah, we'll put it on this unit.
Okay. So I'll start with these Zerks. We're gonna do the split attacks. Nah. Now we'll do this unit. We'll use this unit of Zerks first. We're gonna use the axes on their 2 attack profile. So that's 12, and then I'm hitting you on. I have to roll them separately. So
So far, really interesting game, chat. I think we're seeing the dynamic of this matchup in a big way. Tyranids have all that aggression and they can get inroads early, but I think despite the fact that I think Raze probably could have done a little bit more damage in his first 2 turns, and he ended up keeping his guys in melee a little bit longer than maybe they needed to be. He's been able to push so hard at the Tyranid army that it just folds. And I think that is, while scoring incredible secondaries. And I think that's sort of emblematic of the downside of Tyranids, is that and especially this Kraken build, is the Kraken build's very aggressive. It can do a lot of damage, but it is wet paper bag in terms of survivability. And on the not being able to really like convert your models into objective points, into victory points by scoring secondaries is a little bit awkward.
So I hit on 4s, and I think he does give reroll 1s.
No rerolls for that unit.
You chose orange for that. Oh no, you did. You chose this unit. That's right. Okay.
Should he have used the strat on objective 6? No, because there's only 3 gargoyles here. So you're using it to influence 18 attacks rather than the 14 attacks on a unit that is, so it's a similar number of attacks that you're hitting, but on a unit that is strung between 2 objectives. So basically, Slim wants either one of these gargoyle units to survive, and the gargoyle unit with the best chance of surviving is the one that has twice as many models in it, or 3 times as many models in it. So that's the one he's going to try to keep alive. Didn't work out, though. Still went down. Unfortunately, you really have to hope your opponent spikes real low, and sometimes it happens, and it's worth the CP to try. That's like a huge swing if Slim's able to hold one of those, but it's just not working out here. Wow, the unit's just getting peeled. The real downside is that those gargoyles don't have a good enough save in melee that they survive, so they just die. And now we're going to run into a situation where I think these Biovores now have to start shooting their gun, which you never want to be able to do because the expected damage is so much less than a Spore Mine. Really big downside, big mistake on turn 1. Slim didn't put his Spore Mines down, so he could have had more Spore Mines that could have influenced the game. But those, we need to clear out these Berserks basically before the Hive Tyrant goes in. If the Hive Tyrant with 3 Judgment Tokens goes in on the Berserks and allows them to attack it, there's a non-zero chance that the Hive Tyrant just vaporizes. So I think what we're going to be looking to do here is maybe even interrogate with the Neurothrope, get all of the damage output from the Hive Tyrant into this unit, shoot them with the Biovores, and that probably clips 2 to 3 of the Berserks. And then you only have to deal with 1 that you can maybe just fight with a Tyrant Guard or something. But if the Hive Tyrant just goes in by himself, he's just going to die.
The Hive Tyrant?
Yep, reroll 1s is from the Hive Tyrant.
Yeah.
Neurothrope with that plus.
Yeah, I remember the Neurothrope had direct guidance.
Alright, so that's my command phase. Movement.
Should have 10 points. Yeah, I should have 10 points on my grudge match because I've killed everything I marked. I don't know what I missed. I don't think I killed anything in melee though, which is sad.
You killed the gargoyles in melee.
No. Grudge match only counts your Raveners, your Warriors, and both your Harpies. I think I didn't kill any of those units in melee, so I just have 10.
So I'll advance the Hive Tyrant.
Okay.
Difficult to get melee kills in this matchup,
22.
I think. Your shooting phase is so effective.
Super fast.
That it does massive damage.
Yeah.
So, looks like we're
Please
advancing.
respect my inch of melee range.
Yeah,
so Hive Tyrant's going to be pushing forward. I wonder if it goes for these Berserks. So this is sort of the Hail Mary play. If this Hive Tyrant can get into both these units, it only needs like 2 converted attacks to kill the Sagittor. Because they're AP5, it's going to punch directly through its Avian Wound with Void Armor. And do mortal wounds plus the regular damage. Oh, no, maybe we're going over here. Interesting. This is dangerous. I think Slim's going for broke here. Yeah, so he would have to basically... I think that the goal here would have been for the Hive Tyrant to go and put like 2-ish attacks into the Sagittor, kill it with the converted damage and the mortal wounds, and then turn around and put all of the remaining attacks into the Berserks. I don't think you do enough to kill the whole Berserk unit through their invulnerable save, and then you take a bunch of damage from the Berserks dying, which seems bad. Instead, he's going to go into 3, which he should for sure kill, but the downside is that the swing back is going to be brutal. Because these guys are going to swing 9 attacks. They hit on 3s. If they roll a 4+, it automatically wounds. So all you have to... Out of those 9 attacks, basically, you have to convert 6 to kill the Hive Tyrant, which is unlikely. But you probably convert 3 or 4, so you probably put it down to mid or bottom bracket. Fortunately, it's going to be next to the Tyrant Guard, so basically we just have to worry about shooting from the land fortress this coming turn, but... it may go down at the end of the game here, and that's going to be a big deal because we want to be... Raze wants to be able to clear out these guys for Ancestors are watching.
And we'll go into Psychic. So we'll do Fake Interrogation with the Hive Tyrant.
So you get you another CP.
Yeah, so Call being alive here is a big
You
deal
to succeed.
because he can be interrogated without anybody going to get the Forge Master. That's why we said it earlier. It was so important to keep that Call alive because as it's pushing forward, it's doing a little bit of damage to your army, but you don't really care so much. And you get to play in the Sprinkler and
Sure.
get victory points from that secondary.
He smites.
It's just D3.
Interestingly, I think that going into Arcs of Omen, this matchup is probably going to be the one where you maintain Psychic Interrogation as a secondary in the stable, because that high call has to be in line of sight of your army basically the whole time.
Xeno spotted.
Dr. Dudes in chat, what's up?
Cool. Now that
Xenos are
Psychic
spotted
goes,
here.
so then we're
Significantly
going to shoot
fewer than began the game. Than even began the round.
Berserks.
Yo, -1 for moving and firing heavy.
Yep.
All right, 5s.
So you are shooting the Biovores
A mortal wound.
6 shots.
Sure.
at the Berserks. Yeah, so this is the correct play. We just have to deal a little bit of damage without having to engage those guys in melee. What do we get? Oh, man! 4 mortal wounds!
4 mortal wounds.
Brutal.
Let's see if I roll 4 or 5-ups.
All right. Well,
No,
clips
I take
2.
3. You killed 2.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
the
good.
damage of the weapon is not 1. So you kill an axe and another axe, I guess.
Okay.
That was unfortunate.
We'll go charge phase.
hmm
Oh, sorry. He'll do 5-up Feel No Pains.
I'm sorry, what?
He'll do a 5-up Feel No Pain cast as well, the Catalyst. Is that the only cast tonight?
Yeah, sure, that's fine.
Going back to the Psychic phase briefly.
5-up Feel No Pain will go to the Tyrant Guard.
It is easy to forget that one.
And
So putting it on the Tyrant Guard, not the Tyrant. I think the Tyrant's going to get hit here, but I think that Slim's assuming that he's not really going to be using the Tyrant this coming turn. And if he needs to, he can spend a CP to maybe top bracket him if he needs the help.
Did it?
I'm a little bit worried. The Hive Tyrant only has 5 base attacks. It has to the Obliterax Mortals have to go into the 5-up damage ignore,
Okay.
and you have to hit a 5-up invulnerable save to kill the Berserks. There is a non-zero chance that Berserks survive, and that objective doesn't flip back to you.
And then we'll go it for charges. So fight phase, you don't have enough to interrupt. So let's just go the Hive Tyrant first.
Okay.
So 1 CP, so we'll do 5 attacks.
Yeah, electing not to spend for Adrenaline Surge.
Yeah.
So it's 3 auto
Oof.
wounds.
All right,
Yeah.
well, there you go. That's pretty good. Good start.
All right.
Wait,
Loves the wound roll. Oh, no, I don't
5
think he's
ups.
going to kill them. He's for sure not going to kill them.
These are kind of important. Nope. Okay, that's 3 or 4 damage.
3 damage each.
Okay, 5-ups.
Yeah, it ignores.
Kills 1.
It ignores
5 up.
damage. Ignores too.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah, it does. Yeah, we go over Obliterax. Thank you.
Save the second one. I save the third
Oh
one,
my
and then I got
God.
3 mortal wounds
Yeah.
to feel no pain.
Super needed
That
the.
ignores feel no pains as well, I
I
believe.
believe T5S2 ruled that the mortal wounds caused by Reaper are not subject to its rules.
Yeah, it's only
Fair
its attacks.
Cool.
Alright, you
Sweet.
kill 2. So 2 die.
That'll change
I'll
in the
get
next
here.
pod because it got FAQ'd in an actual
Okay.
rulebook.
And then
Alright, then
I'll fight back with the 2 that
sorry.
died.
He still gets 2 attacks with his talons.
That's fine.
Yeah, these could get saved on the 4-up.
Box.
That's a good start.
1 auto wound. 3s. No, so just 1 more at -4.
Damage.
1 damage.
Okay, so I'll save it on a 5-up. Save it.
Oh my
So I will fight
god,
back with the
dude!
2 that died. Since I'm selecting the unit to fight, I'm going to spend a CP to get full rerolls. I'm just going to use the damage 1 profile, so that's 12 attacks.
I don't believe that they are being selected.
Okay, then I will not reroll. Hitting on 3s, 4's auto wound. And then wounding on 5s.
To my knowledge, that
Make
ability
6
is like
invulnerable saves,
Overwatch.
please.
You don't go through this full steps.
These are
You just
damage
start
2,
it.
yeah?
Okay,
Damage
pile in.
Damage.
Take 2, 3. And then move to your chargers.
Then we go Tyrant Guard, so it'll be 9 attacks.
Who are they attacking?
Yeah, I'm just about to declare. So we're going to go all into. We're actually going to go into the Berserk.
Okay.
Then.
On 2s, rerolling 1s.
Yep. And then threes.
Using the Scything Talon or the Rending?
Yeah,
No,
they're
Rending
always
Claws.
5.
So it's 3s.
That's fine.
5-ups.
Mhm.
Cool. And then 4-ups.
Mhm.
He dies.
Ooh, that was close.
Since you finished making your attacks, I'll fight with him. He's just going to punch you with his 4 attacks.
Bonk.
Hitting on 3s. You have no judgment tokens on you.
Mhm.
Rerolling 1s for the call. Reroll 1s. And then wounding you on 3s because he's strength 8. 2 saves at -2 for 2 damage piece.
It'll be 4-ups.
Hey,
Then I will.
Tyrant Guard
so
armor,
you
come on.
guys, I'll fight with the Zerk that's left. He'll choose the damage 1 mode.
Yeah, Votann are gonna.
Which is 6 attacks.
There's no way
hitting
that
on
guy
3s,
runs, right? Because they're lead 8,
unwounded on
yeah.
4s.
So Votann are gonna stick around. Yeah, I think you needed 2 adrenaline surge there to ensure you kill the unit. And the other downside here too, right, is that the Tyrant now cannot overrun and cannot pile and consolidate towards the Tyrant Guard. And since the Tyrant Guard also didn't kill everything in melee with them, which was unlikely, that means that the Land Fortress should get a clear shot onto the Hive Tyrant, and there's like less than a 0% chance it survives. The fully armed and operational Hecate Land Fortress shooting into a poor Hive Tyrant with no upgrade, no defensive benefit on
If
it.
you're done, you can pass the turn to me.
Cool. Yep, you don't have morale or anything.
I do, but they're leadership 8, so they can't fail.
Cool.
They are 8, right? Okay, good.
Yep. Yeah.
My turn.
I think that might have done it, chat. I think that was the turn that Raze needed to push through and ensure his victory. It was looking pretty good after that last battle round, but it's looking much better now. It might be that we lose 1 or 2 on Ancestors Are Watching. Banners is going to tick up slowly but surely. That should be like relative. That should be close to a wash. Grudge Match is already maxed, so it's all primary here on out for Raze. But it doesn't look to me like I guess it doesn't. I think that Slim is still going to get a 4 on Battle Round 5, but then Raze has bottom right 5 scoring, so he's going to get another 12. So he'll go up 8 there. He'll probably get 3 and 3 on banners. So he'll get another 6. So he should go up to 9. And then Slim will go up to 8. I'm not sure he's getting Synaptic Insight anymore. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, this is like sort of the plight of Tyranids pre-Arcs of Omen anyway. They had a lot of offensive output, and they have a lot of sort of negative play experiences, right? Like, I don't think Biovore or Spore Mines are particularly healthy for the game. So I think it's fine that they got nerfed. But unfortunately, the faction just struggled so hard getting through these tough matchups that I think we were going to see it swing right now, drop naturally. I think the Arcs of Omen nerfs were a little heavy-handed.
This
so
guy
Land Fortress pushes to the center of the table, gets line of sight through both of the ruins. Yeah, and it gets to shoot whatever it wants. We have 2 Judgment tokens now because of the high call there on the Tyrant Guard. So the high call could literally, yeah, I mean, the Land Fortress now has free reign of whatever it wants to do. I think we could even see it, if the high call just like ducks out of the way, we could even see a conversion beamer into the Tyrant Guard. Which is 4 damage. If it clips one, if it goes through, they probably just die. Although they are catalysted right now, I believe.
So he's gonna move into the corner. And these 2 will just string out and raise a banner here. Boink, boink.
I actually think
Let's see, so I
think data intercepting is literally better than
no
bannering at
banners,
this
1
point.
banner.
Assuming that you kill the Hive Tyrant, which is a very good assumption. Then you will
Data
get
Scry. Sorry, banner's worth
3.
2 points. Data Scry Salvage is worth 2 points. It's the same.
Is it?
This
You're about to hold this objective. No, Raze, what are you doing? Inefficiency!
Shoot at something?
Not sure it matters in this
Let's
case.
move you.
Yeah, we can put the Sagittor into the Tyrant Guard there. It has a little bit of trouble shooting Tyrant Guard in cover. These guys are pretty tough.
That's cute. The hitbox on this obelisk is pretty spectacular. 7 to here, and then another 5. We'll just go 5 to here. And he'll shoot at the Hive Tyrant. Can you heroic with your Tyrant Guard?
No.
Okay, let's take a look at 3 inches on these guys. What does staying in melee behoove me? I might live. That's about it. I let you charge. I can stay on the objective. I can definitely not stay on the objective. I think we just sit in melee and, like, maybe kill one. Maybe. Sure. No, because then I don't get to shoot. I would rather shoot you. So he's going to fall back off of the objective. He's going to go 5 this way. And stay outside of heroic range. Okay. Shooting Sagittarius is going to shoot all its shots at your Tyrant Guard. They are toughness 5?
Toughness 6.
Okay, so I do have to bifurcate the shots. So this is the strength 6 gun. Hitting on 3s, auto wounding on 5s. Okay, and then these wound on 4s. Be 4 saves at -2. I don't ignore cover, so you should be on a 3-up, I believe.
Yeah, so
There are
that's
2
2
damage apiece.
yeah.
And you're fine.
Cool.
And then 6 more shots. These ones are going to be winning on 3s. Hitting on 3s, winning on 5s. Auto winning on 5s. And these wound on 3s instead of 4s. Yeah, 2 more saves on your 3-up, please.
Saves.
Take 2
2
damage,
damage.
sir.
I got Filler Paint, takes 2.
And that is my turn. Over to you. You get 1 banner and 8 primaries.
Sure do. And then we'll just go. Okay, so. Any more?
I think we can talk it out here.
Yeah. I've got
think
like
I
a
went-
hail mare.
I think I just went straight off of 12 primaries, and assuming like worst case scenario, I kill nothing. I lose 3 points on Ancestors Watching. I get 3 banners, 3 points on 2 points on Salvage, and 12 primaries.
Yeah,
You get
so
3
I
for Interrogate, 2 banners,
Yeah.
and
And then I can maybe, instead of the fireball shooting, I can get 2 on Dark
2
Sky.
points on this.
Yeah, that's unfortunately the best I think I could do. Is my
Looks like it.
You've got irons.
That is what it is. There you go, chat.
So the only thing that could give you more points is if you pop the Land Fortress.
Leagues of Votann.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Getting it.
Since that's the only relevant dice, it would be what? The Hive Guard and the Hive Tyrant on it?
Well, I would need to actually kill the Sagittarius as well, so it would actually. But yeah, because essentially what I would do is I just advance the Hive Tyrant.
Mm-hmm.
All right, looks like we're gonna roll out this last turn here.
19.
Determine a final score. Congratulations to Raze, though. It looks like I think we could get another 3 on
That does get
Synaptic
me my
Insight,
3rd point on Data Score
but I don't
Salvage.
believe that we can get any more points for Slim there. So it looks like a 70 to 73 is probably where things are going to be. Do we need to kill the Tyrant for a 12? I think we may be operating under the assumption that the Land Fortress will kill whatever. Oh, also this Berserk is here, so... If everybody just leave, then it is what it is, yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Land Fortress. And then that's it. So then we'll go.
Oh yeah, and we've already calculated the -3 for Ancestors Watching. Yeah, so the outcome of the game literally cannot change. We're just gonna see if we score at the last Synaptic Insight. There's no reason for Raze to try to roll that off those attacks out.
Take 1 more wound, and then we'll do 5 up Feel No Pain.
Hell of a game, chat. This is an interesting one. I do think. I mean, I've said it a couple times over the course of the game, but I do think it's like emblematic of the difference in the play styles between these two factions. And really the power level. And that's one of my favorite things about 40k is that some factions are really, really strong late game and some factions are really, really strong early game. And it's like a balancing act between the two. And I think it's impressive that the game does it so well.
Interrogate with the Hive Tyrant for the 3 points.
Yeah, exactly right. So I would heal him up at the start of the phase as well with the D3.
Yeah, that's fine.
Really.
Heals 1, which is enough to unbracket him.
Yep.
And then just make sure you don't perils or fail the interrogate on this roll.
Yeah, exactly.
You succeed. So that gives you your 3 points on interrogate.
Then charges. Actually, you know what? There's no point now because yeah, I can't actually do it.
Yeah. Basically, I think we needed like a super state on this narrow throw, basically.
All right.
Well, I guess it's like possible, right? If the Tyrant swings like 2 into the Sagittor, the Tyrant Guard, if the Tyrant Guard punked the Land Fortress for a bunch, and then the Tyrant swings like 2 attacks in the Sagittor and kills it, and then clips the Hecaton for max damage, it could potentially happen.
I think I get one
It's
more
unlikely.
point from a banner on that Zerg down there, but I don't think that really matters.
Yeah.
Overall, not getting first turn really hurt me because my Land Fortress was just stuck back.
Let me know if you have any questions to the players. This is an interesting game.
But that was pretty well played.
Yeah, appreciate it. I likewise on your part. Definitely a fair few mistakes. Again, playing for a clock on the first time, just watching that, just like, it's kind of screws with you a bit, but it's good to sort of be aware.
And my advice to you is start playing with a clock on your regular pod games. And like, you know, hey, I just want to use the clock to get used to it, because if you do get to finals, you're going to be playing on a clock, and it's a good thing to be in practice for, in my opinion.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, you capitalized on all the mistakes. Yeah, look, I think dice could have been maybe a little bit better, but I also made some major.
I'm actually really sad Grudge Match is going away, because it's surprisingly good. Like, it's usually a solid 10, and sometimes you can get a couple extra points out of it, depending on the matchup.
Yeah. I think then you've got like two really strong kill secondaries kind of tied together. That was all right.
Yeah,
Raze
well,
in the
grudge
running
match is
for
in the
an
same as
invitational spot.
no
there's
prisoners.
there's a lot to
So
go
it
into
almost
the
never gets taken, but I've been taking
last
it
weekend
in
here,
my last
chat.
few pods, and it's been doing
Take
pretty
a
good.
quick look.
Yeah, nice. Oh, yeah, dude.
Anyone got questions, Trevi?
Yeah. Well, GG guys. First off, congratulations to both for a good game. And Raze, congrats on taking it down.
Yeah, I only had to go through 30 pods to get a win finally.
There you go.
Yeah.
Let's see. 2 questions about Arcs of Omen changes. Biotech acting, how you feel about the changes in Arcs of Omen.
Just like in general?
I think specifically about Leagues of Votann, I imagine.
I honestly don't think the faction deserved to get another hit. Land Fortresses going up another 10 points is probably fine. They're very strong, and they're at a point value where they feel good to take, but you don't want to take 2 ever. Zerks are very good in Ymir. In other factions, they're kind of dog water. So I don't know why they went up. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, because they're kind of give you this choice between, do I go with Greater Thurian League, which maximizes my firepower, or do I go with Ymir, which I get the extra AP, but I also get better benefit out of my Zerks. I'm not quite sure why they went up 10%. Warriors going up another point is not terrible. I think you basically never take bricks of 20 now. You always just take bricks of 10, and you split them in a Sagittar. Losing, as I mentioned, losing Grudge Max is actually pretty bad. I think it was an undervalued secondary, because it's good into some lists like this one, where like I had no good there's no good bring it down, and there's no good no prisoners. I can't take thin the ranks, and Grudge Max just makes a good easy 10 on that, where all I have to worry about is killing their stuff. That being said, this list was built to test the Arcs of Omens list building, because I didn't need to bring warriors. I could just bring 3 units of bikes as my obsec, which were, in theory, you could keep them back all game and then just deploy them in like turns 3, 4, or 5, or maybe on turn 5 you can spend 1 CP and move them 24 inches onto your opponent's objectives. This game I had to commit them because I didn't get turn 1, and I had to kill harpies, which was rough. So they all died, which was rough. It made clearing the gargoyles down here very, very important, which fortunately I was able to do. I think overall the Votann matchup into Tyranids is not terrible. It's not bad. We got lots of good guns. They're primarily a melee faction, which means they got to come into us. They get to pick the engagements, but as you witnessed here, Sagittars are Zerks are pretty good into the melee counter, because even if you clear them out, I can usually crack back. They're also fairly resilient.
Yeah, especially against like the Raveners and things, right? Because it's all 1 damage. It's like just a billion 1 damage, and you're just...
I was actually really scared when you were down here and you decided to charge my bikes instead of the Zerks. I was really afraid you were going to charge the Zerks, because the damage to bone swords just fucking murder them.
Yeah, that was one of my major misplays. Like, I came into this game, I was like, like warriors are going to be really good with -1 damage and 5 up feel no pains, and just did not do that at all. So
I think your warriors were fine, and I actually agree with the play you made. You managed to drop my banner and cheat me out of 4 primaries on the turn you did that, which is fine. You did tie up my land fortress, but unfortunately that also means you were tied up with a land fortress, and they do a lot of damage.
Yeah, it would have been. I'm sure. I feel like I could have made some different things, but anything I did, you capitalized really well. So really well played.
Yeah. You said there was a couple of questions, Trevi?
Yes. Wolf King's asking how you guys plan to change your lists in Arcs of Omen.
If you'd like to go first.
Yeah, sure.
So, is it they suddenly turn into guys in power armor?
Yeah, look, my Blood Angels are definitely in play, I think. No, look, I have been experimenting with Tyranids. I actually really like sort of 3 units of really big gene stealers in Behemoth. Just being able to get strength 5 plus 1 of wound with a shitload of T4 and T5 running around. Being able to reroll wounds is going to be really nice. It's just working out those pieces around it. I don't think I'm going to use Kraken anymore. Probably just going to shift to Behemoth, just trying to work out the pieces that sit around that now, just because Raveners and Warriors just feel too expensive for, especially Raveners, how quickly they die if you lose one to morale. So yeah, just still trying to figure it out. It's a bit of a puzzle for me.
Kraken might actually have legs, since Space Marines are losing Armor of Contempt. Once you crack AP4, you just start melting Space Marines.
Yeah, that is true. Like, one thing I have been thinking about is actually running Warriors with the Strength 6 -4 1 damage claws instead of the Bone Swords, and just trying to tear through power armor 1 damage at a time. But yeah, still really working it out. But Blood Angel seems to take favor in my mind more often than not, right? But it seems like a good challenge.
On my end, the list I specifically built to test, it can't be played because it went up 80 points for some reason. So I probably go back to my Greater Thurian League list, which is Uther, 2 Sagittars, 2 blocks of Warriors, and a Land Fortress with a Forge Master. And I have to swap. I really enjoyed the tech. I could bring a min squad of Zerks with a mole missile launcher just to have movement. Unfortunately, that went up 30 points, so I can't bring it anymore. I just get a min squad of bikes. How I'm going to change is I'm going to turn into dudes in power armor, who are currently rated the weakest faction in the entire game. I'm probably going back to Death Guard because I am stupid.
Fair enough.
Also,
gotta prove everybody wrong.
I have a Death Pact. If I make the top 16, if I make the Invitational, I'm bringing 5 cube.
Hell yeah. Not 6, only 5?
No, I need some death marks to hold objectives.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, my monoliths are obsec and count as 2 models.
2 models!
Two models!
It's so many.
Yeah!
Amazing.
Yeah. It'll be fun. I don't think I make it because of my other pod ended in another 5th place finish. I think I only go up by like 40, which is not quite top cutoff.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like, just looking at it. I'm about to input the ticket for this one now, so hopefully it should be updated pretty shortly.
Yep, hopefully the game was entertaining. I'm going to go and watch the VOD because I want to hear your commentary.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there was definitely some interesting stuff, and some stuff like flip things on its head a little bit, which is interesting. I think this Sagittar exploding was like kind of a huge deal. Yeah. Which was funny.
The Harpy not dying.
And the Harpy not dying 2 times, right?
Yeah.
Just chilled. Just chilled around.
All right.
Cool. Well, cheers, guys.
Thanks.
Thanks for the good game. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. And I'm sure I'll see you in the future.
Appreciate it.
Slim,
All the best.
thanks for being flexible on the time. I realize it's probably really late / early for you. I appreciate the flexibility.
No, it's all good, dude. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Sun is out, so we're gonna go stay inside.
All right, cool.
Appreciate it, mate. All the best.
Yeah. Later.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
All right, everybody. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Prediction is done. Let me just, I'll just do this on stream. With the league token. One sec. So we have a lot of Tyranids coming up tomorrow as well. We're going to be streaming 8 a.m. U.S. Eastern, so 9 hours from now. You can come hang out. And then we'll be at 8 p.m., so same time tomorrow night as well. Here comes the token chat. All right, token is away. Let's take a look at what that does to the rankings here real quick. So that puts Raze to 35, unfortunately. And we do have more, obviously, 2 more pods to be submitted. I believe I went through all of the previous events. I believe every other pod has been submitted besides the ones that are currently ongoing. We do have Breaking Heads. Was having some trouble with their tokens. And I think we'll be submitting a couple of events. So there might be a shakeup tomorrow. But I'm about to get in contact with Fred and make sure that those are all submitted. But yeah, looking so far. Here's the rankings, by the way, right now. Looking like it is gonna be probably this is our top 16 right now, and I don't know how much the rest is gonna be influenced. But so far so good. Pretty strong group there. Beat Newgard twice? Hell, you dude. How's the list making going? I'm kind of stuck on this Tyranid list, Chad. This Carnifex list. I kind of love it. I love it more than I think I should. I don't think it's very good, but I do. It holds a place in my heart. All right, let's see. Take a quick look at who is online in the Warhammer tag here. There you go. Is this Blood Bowl? Yikes. Cringe, bro. Just some people painting. Kung Fu Asparagus. That's a good name. We'll go hang out with them. All right, chat. That's going to be it for us. Raid is incoming. Thanks, everyone, for watching all the way through today. I'll see you bright and early, 8 a.m. U.S. Eastern tomorrow morning for a Streamapalooza to close out T5S2 Season 6. It's been a good season so far. Been a bit of a roller coaster ride, but I've enjoyed it. And I hope you have as well. I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody.